Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talk.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the
Pep Talk.
Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talk.
I'm literally coming. I'm
Pep
literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass
Pep Talks.
destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to High on Politics, Wednesday edition. Yeah, we tried something a little new today. Finally got my my little screen figured out here. So if you guys prefer being able to kind of see the behind the scenes while the show's starting up, just let me know and I'll go back to doing that. But for now, yeah, this was a little bit new, but welcome to the show. Hope you guys are doing well. Had a rough day yesterday, but we are having a better day today. Unimoogle is doing, if you guys don't know who Unimoogle is my wife. You guys will occasionally see her in chat. She's doing a lot better today. You know what? I also have to say, guys, like, thank you so much for for the kind words, because she was in chat and she was able to see a whole bunch of the positive vibes, positive comments, and just in general. Even though we're not religious, every time that somebody says that they're going to pray for her, I hope you guys understand that that means a lot to her. It really does. We're not one of those types of couples that just because we don't, have religion, we try to respect people as much as possible. But with that being said, that actually kind of brings me into what we're going to be covering today. So there's a bunch of reports coming out that Pete Hegseth and the powers that be are literally doing this to usher in the, I don't even know if I can say the word, but I'm just going to say it, the apocalypse. Like, they think that this is going to bring about the return of Jesus Christ, which even when I was a Christian, I always thought it was insane that anytime that we would talk about Israel and like they would be talking about war, they were saying like how this was going to usher in Jesus. I'm like, why? Because he needs to come and stop you, you genocidal freaks. Like, what the hell? Dude, the first time that I conceptualized Jesus in politics, I thought about how Jesus would respond to the concept of a gun and a bullet. Just a bullet itself, where if you sat down and explained to Jesus Christ, like, all right, my child, what is this? What is this? What is this piece of metal? It is a projectile of some kind. It's like, yeah, that's made exclusively for ending, taking people out, sending them to your domain. And he would probably look at you and go, No, oh, what? No, because also think about how many people have, with that little thing, thought, they're going to meet their maker kind of thing. Yeah. Pure unadulterated arrogance to think you can make Jesus come back. It's insane. It's always been insane to me. Also, I'm testing the mic going back here. If you guys enjoyed how it sounded up, I had to watch some of my content, which you guys know how I feel about that. And I kind of realized, I was like, oh, wow, it kind of sounds like I'm a little bit farther away from the mic if I kept it that way. So pure unadulterated arrogance is the perfect way to put that, Anna. I really appreciate that take. Because, yeah, that's how I've always felt about it. And this report coming out that they have certain pastors that are legitimately from the same cult that I came out of is insane. God, like I never thought that it would come to this. Like, when I was in high school, I always thought that we were the fringe, that there was no way that our movement would ever be popular with it, even in like the Christian circles, like, because we were always seen as, for lack of a better term, kind of extreme, and Anna, I'm sure that you can kind of relate to this a little bit. Um, although not in the not in the same kind of context, because yeah, what you guys are doing is yeah, is the actual Lord's work. Have you ever thought about that? How you guys actually can like, even in a political movement, you can kind of claim that it's like, yeah, you're trying to do, you know, what that Jesus fellow was trying to preach. But you just had an idea. What is your idea? I love ideas. Bring the ideas. Let's go. I'm not even kidding, guys. If you guys want to help brainstorm, stuff for the channel, stuff for the show, stuff for me, I am always open to it. Social media has made it where everyone thinks that they are a motivational speaker, life coach, political talking head, or fortune teller. Sure. The thing is, Dominic, I actually went to school for this. I went to communication school for this. I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to, do a little comedy. Now I get to do a little comedy and a little bit of radio while also having a video element to it and having some fun. Dude, I am not ever going to try and claim that I'm something that I'm not. I'm a political commentator. That's it. Like, I commentate on the news. But realistically, if you guys watch any, like, right-wingers, they're not breaking news for you. Fuck. Me and Megyn Kelly do the same thing. Like, that's the craziest part to me. Like, technically, I do the same thing as John fucking Stewart and all those guys. Like, it's just commentating on the news, giving my opinions, and trying to, like, look through the bullshit. But buy silver. I actually wasn't gold and silver was down yesterday, but no, actually. Don't do speculative assets. That's my number one piece of advice right now is no, hold on to your money. Don't go like investing it into the stock market right now. Now's not the time. Trust me. It's really not. If there's one time that I am confident in my financial advice, which I'm not a financial advisor, but I will just say this is for me personally. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm about to be back up there returning effing dog food. LeMayo, what up? Pepalicious, it's peptastic. You're returning dog food? Like, do you mean you're actually like taking dog food back? What happened? Like, what did you buy? All right, so I have done that. Like, I've literally had to walk back with like a 30+ pound bag of dog food that I was like, oh, I bought the wrong kind. Because my dog, he is very particular. So, thank God I have a wife that noticed that too, where she was just like, that's not the right food. She's like, take that back because he's not going to eat that. I was like, because even I had that argument where I'm like, he's a dog. You know, he's not going to know the difference. She's like, yes, he will. Yes, he will. Silver went up 3.5 times in 8 months. It's not down. I'm saying it's down from its peak and it's going to continue. Like, dude, any time that you think you have the answer into unless you're investing in war right now, you're not making money and you're not poised to make money. We're all going to lose on this one. What if you put up images on the TV that correspond with what you're... That might work. I have to figure that out, though. Because... Alright, let's see. Is there something on Roku that can allow you to do... Anna, here. That's a great idea, and I hate that I'm doing this to you, but can you do the homework for me? I don't want to disassociate from the show and just go into looking up how to do this. Can you look up how to do that on a Roku? And if I can just screencast from my computer to my Roku, because if I can, that will work. Because I have my old computer hooked up to, had my old computer hooked up to that. My old computer is literally, it might as well be a fucking paperweight at this point. It is insane. 15-minute football, a segment where you come up, comment on stuff in the NFL could highlight Bears news. Well, I mean, you want to talk about Bears news? We got a little bit of an update on that one. I'm not going to go into like a whole segment, but I will just say, there's talks about possibly keeping him in Chicago again. They're looking at how they can plan the lakefront and do an expansion. There's this. You want to know who the biggest like holdup on that is the Parks and Rec crew from Chicago. I forgot about this, that they're the reason we don't have the Star Wars museum, which, you know, as much as I love the parks and the lakefront, yes, you can cast from your computer to your Roku via screen mirroring. Okay, I will do that. I will figure that out. Oh, tablet. Oh, actually, you know what? That would be a smarter way to do it. So I can just... All right. You know what? Thank you, Anna. That's a great idea, and I will be instituting that later in the future here, because today I literally just figured out how to have a seamless welcome screen. Yeah, look, check out this shit. Boom. Welcome screen. Boom. Got my show. I am not as technologically with it as you guys would think. God, I just sounded 80 right there. I'm not with it I'm not hipping with it with the computer crowd. I don't even think I eat $100 in a week. Really? I had a Rottweiler who ate a cheap Alpo his whole life. I lived to be 16 for a $100 bag, buddy. I could feed my dog steak and eggs. Yep. Hey, you don't have to adjust every time. Yeah, no, I know. But the bit, I know. That's where I'm like, yeah, the bit, I know. And Etch, actually, you're the person that I wanted to go to with this one. Because you kind of brought up how you enjoy the behind the scenes thing, so I don't know, I might go back to that, but for now, yeah, I wanted to try something new. But cuckoo, hello, what up, Fred, good to see you, buddy. Adventures with Eddie. I just noticed that Eddie has adventures. Mud butters, ugh. Social media should make you realize you're just an AI prototype. Good luck. I mean, honestly, good luck. The thing is, if people genuinely start finding the same pleasures from AI that they would like a human creator, that's not the creators that are cooked. That's just society that's cooked. And I can't do anything about that. So, Pep, you're the pilot. I'm here for the adventure. No, I know. But I want to make this as fun as possible for everybody. So if you guys enjoyed, you know, having a little behind the scenes thing and also just having the bit. Hey, you. Speaking of, look at this. We got our co-host. Everybody say hello. He was upstairs protecting the house from the neighbors moving their trucks. And oh boy, did he let me know it. Yo, I'm glad to see another black LGBT plus Q creator. I've never been ashamed of who you are. Or never been ashamed of who you are? What? No, I know what you're doing. That's... Yeah. Now, up the pucks. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Hey, y'all. Love the stream. Love the earlier streams. Getting high on politics at work today. Hey, man. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the show and you're just joining us, please do me a solid. Hit that like button. Really, really helps me out as a smaller creator. And I'm a growing boy. I need them likes to continue to grow in the YouTube. Also, sub to the channel if you guys enjoy the content. I gotta say, yesterday something happened with a chatter. I think that a lot of you guys were here, but we had a chatter that just straight up said, I'm conservative. I don't necessarily agree with all your points, but I really enjoy your show. And they even gave me a compliment saying that I'm nuanced, which thanks. Like, I really appreciate that. It's so funny. You get so many so much negativity doing this that legitimately, like the nice comments, those are the ones that stick with me. Because it's funny. I remember listening to Joe Rogan when he first started. He had this big, long diatribe about how he will never read YouTube comments because it just he could get all of the 80 positive comments and then have one bad one, and that one bad one's the one that sticks with him. I have the opposite, where I can ignore every negative comment about me, but the second that you say something nice to me, I'm just like, oh, cool. This message is to Pakistan and Palestine. If you really, that's the way that you do your messages, is on small streams. Yeah. Wow, this guy's one of those American LARPers that he genuinely thinks that his opinion, like, matters to anybody in the government. That's adorable. Adorable. The only time that your opinion matters is when they need your vote, which half the time they've already fucking brainwashed you into showing up to vote for the Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, and whoever he says to vote for. So, what up, what up? Oh, my favorite Rooski. I'm doing okay today. We were having a better day. Hey, Melly, what's up? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you. Yeah, as you guys file in here, please do hit the like button. I'm essentially reminding my regulars. I just have to say, though, yeah, my wife is doing a lot better today. Yesterday was the second day of her chemo and radiation treatment. It was the worst day we've had in this entire run of treatment. That sucked. And it was heartbreaking to see her, to hear her in that position. Today, she is doing a lot better, getting some rest. She got herself a nice little present. She's going to be able to play some Poketopia, which, you know, when you're bedbound, you need something. And this is the first time that she's been really excited about, like, a game in a long time. So she got herself some Poketopia, and I am so happy. She loves Animal Crossing. She loves those types of games, you know, the Hello Kitty. She even plays the Disney version of Stardew Valley, which I figured it out. It's not Disney Animal Crossing. It's literally Disney Stardew Valley. Which she needs to play Stardew Valley. After she's done with Poketopia, I'm going to introduce her to that, because that's one of the games that I realized I never introduced her to. That's a parasitic NPC shithead on every live stream. It is? Oh. Well, then he could go. Boom. He can go away. He has been banned. I ban any bot, like any bot that's just obvious, immediate bans. Which that hurts my channel. I'm just gonna say right now. Like, hope you guys appreciate that. That's why when I ask you to like and sub, it really does matter, so I can kind of try and clean up the hubbub. I like doing the vertical streams. Personally, you guys are gonna hate me for this. I prefer doing the vertical streams. Like, if I had to choose between one or the other, it would be just vertical streams. Because I know you guys kind of like the old format where, you know, my screen goes into the corner and I commentate with a full screen. But I kind of like this. Like, I like having the ability to have that. Also, I like having my my schedule up there so everybody knows that I stream all week. Jewel Tones, what up? Welcome everybody. J-Rock, how you doing? Also Rowdy, what's up, man? It was kind of funny, man. I'm not sure if you were here for when JS popped in the chat, but man, I don't know how you guys keep that guy in your circle. Like, I kind of treat things like I do in real life, where if you're cool and we have we don't agree on everything, as long as you're like a good person, then I'll keep you around. But I don't think JS is a good person. Like, I genuinely think that he's a very bad person. Like, I think that he doesn't feel empathy. I don't think that he actually cares about anything in his life but himself, which I have no tolerance for that in my life, man. I really don't. Life's too short, to not have a community. And that's not how you build any community. That's actually, like, how you stifle communities. That's also how you continue this, like, this really toxic, like, incel bullshit, where it's just, like, making anybody very comfortable in being an incel is not the right way to go. You should be doing the opposite. We should be shaming people. Not necessarily, because, like, again, involuntary celibacy has also been bastardized because, yeah, some people are involuntary celibate that have nothing to do with online culture. But when you use the term incel, I would say Reddit incel, or just even political incel. I know that sometimes they even say right wing, but realistically, those people, like, if they turn their, like, loneliness and their misery onto other people, fuck them. Do you live in Colorado? I noticed the jersey and I was wondering. No, I do not live in Colorado. I am a Midwesterner from Chicago. very open about that because I am also in the now the hottest contested race in all of America. Because now that James Tallarico has won, gotta say I'm a little happy about that. It's also kind of fun watching MAGA panic because they don't dude, Trump doesn't even know who to endorse. I hope you guys understand that, no matter what the news says, Trump is flailing right now because James Tallarico winning was one of the worst things that could happen to MAGA in Texas. And anti-incel, incel are toxic communities, in my opinion. Well, anti-incel, again, what is it? It's the same thing as Antifa. I'm bringing up that they're because of their loneliness, they have to just make everybody else miserable. It's the literal misery loves company. Chicago's too cold. It's 47 degrees right now. We're doing okay. Can you have empathy for someone that has no empathy? No, I can't. No. I think that I've been very open about how I match energies, and that goes into that whole matching energies camp. Where, why should I have to contort myself to make somebody that's just a shitty person comfortable? You do understand that's why we're in the position we're in, right, Rowdy? Is because people have now been like, well, why can't we just cater to them? Fuck that. Why? Why can't they cater to us? Why can't they recognize that the way they live is not it's not conducive to in living in a society? It's almost like that whole what is it? Anti-societal. Oh my god, antisocial. If you're antisocial, there's a reason that we have been able to recognize antisocial behaviors as being kind of inherently dangerous. They usually lead to bad things. Nick Fuentes has poisoned the brains of an entire generation of youth. I think about anybody that's the age of 18 to 20, 25, 26 that was listening to Nick Fuentes in his prime. It's crazy because you have to understand that most of that ideology comes from commodifying women, hating anybody that doesn't think like them, wondering why because again, while they're simultaneously commodifying women are not commodifying them. They're not going this is why they're so mad. And then they're just why can't we need some DEI for white people, for white men. Because that's another thing that I always love is how we talked about DEI, right? Trump has made multiple moments coming out saying how we need to cater to we need to apologize to some of the white boys, to some of the white men. White men have been discriminated against. It's you know what? If you're not going to recognize the systematic way that we have been doing that to people of color, forever, and then somehow turn it around to we're the victims, I think that is genuinely one of the not only dumbest but funniest ways that you could really turn that around, because it's pretty transparent. Okay, so let's hear your thoughts on fuck you. I don't care. The thing is, I support trans rights because I want people to be happy. I don't care because the thing is, it doesn't affect my fucking life, and it doesn't affect yours either. If you have kids, guess what? You can't control whether they'd be trans or not. That ideology is still going to be around. It's not going anywhere. Same with gay ideology. Not going anywhere. Gay ideology. The fact is, it's their sexuality, and you're the one who can't accept it. You're the one who can't accept people not wanting to either fuck you or just want to fuck the opposite sex or whatever the fuck. You guys are fucked in the head. The fact that you guys constantly think about other people's sex lives tells me that you're fucked in the head. You're actually legitimately crazy people that sit in your you're sitting on a keyboard just what about the transes? Come on, man. What has a trans person done to you? Huh? None of that news bullshit. You personally. What? I have no idea what you're saying because you type like a fucking toddler. I'm not answering your question. I asked you a question. I'm the streamer. You either answer my question or I just ban you because you're annoying. What are your thoughts on Jim? Well, I'll just tell you that MAGA's doing the same thing. I know. Listen, I know a cult when I see one because I was in one. I was literally in the exact same Christian cult that most people are basing their ideology on. Like, you guys don't even understand it. If you're in MAGA, you're supporting the same cult that I broke from. Cool. Ban me? All right. Yeah, daddy. Ban me. I gave him a 10-minute timeout because, yeah, can't give him what he wants. But 10 minutes is enough for him to get annoyed and leave. What are your thoughts on Jacob's Ladder on the micropene? Well, I'm thinking that the ZXQE all numbers account, that's totally not a bot, is at the top of that list. Whenever we refer to the micropene, that person is at the very top. Savage Dunk. You're still doing dabs? Elbow cough? I'm calling it dunk now. I'm taking it. Trans in the Olympics competing against... Yeah, no, that's nothing. That wasn't a thing. Trans people don't compete in the Olympics. That whole, like, your whole, like, trans boxer, like, number one, the fact is we're already through another Olympics. You do realize that that was now 2 years ago, right? Interesting. Interesting how you still focus on that issue. You guys don't genuinely care. Like, this is the PSYOP. Again, this is why I think they're all bots. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. I think they're all bots. Anytime that somebody starts bringing up the trans stuff while we're at war, cool. Gas is up, guys. Your gas prices are up. The economy is tanking. Yeah, your 401ks are going to take a hit now. Yeah. Since everybody was talking about how great things are, the Dow being up to 50,000, well, time to have a little dose of reality that everything is now going down. Everything's getting more expensive. That 15% tariff goes into effect next... Well, we're going to start seeing it next week as far as the effects about it. So, yeah. But keep telling us how much you care about trans ideology, because you know what? Who doesn't give a shit about that? Anybody who is paying attention to the fucking news. Nah, MAGAs are weird. No, they seriously are. MAGA are weird as fuck. The fact that they're so bent out of shape about genitalia. I've been saying this for a while, and I'm going to continue to say it. It's because they once jerked off to trans prawn, and they can't reconcile the fact that they think they're gay because they jerked off to a beautiful trans woman. And that's their problem. They thought, like, when they heard trans, they were like, yeah, you know, bunch of dudes who want to be ladies instead of chicks with dicks. Meanwhile, it's just like the Randall thing. It's like, chicks with... I mean, who knew that Randall from Clerks was going to be, like, one of the the fucking early adopters of just like, hey, you know what? Let's normalize this. Sorry if that's making it a little crass, but for real, these guys, if that's another thing, if you guys get bent out of shape about that, stop. Like, stop. Yeah, beautiful trans women. Yeah, there are beautiful trans women. That's how that works. Like, I can tell you, like, I want to do the test again, where it's between Kim Davis and there's this one trans influencer who literally, or actually Hunter Schafer. We'll go with Hunter Schafer. If it's between Hunter Schafer and Kim Davis, which one are you fucking? And Kim Davis is the one that looks like Shrek. So you got one that looks like Shrek and one that looks like Princess Zelda. Who you Oh, MAGA's they're gonna fuck Shrek? Huh. Oh, damn, dude. Yes, also normalize girl bulge. There you go. There have been trans people that have competed, I think, and the ones that are real never mattered at a certain point. There's even policies that regulate how a trans person can compete in the Olympics. Yeah, it's the same thing as, like, I think it's not cortisol. What's the... it's not testosterone either. There's something else. There's like a certain like level that if they are beyond that, because I know that they've actually like banned women for having too high of whatever that chemical is. Estrogen, HGH. No, thank you. HGH. It was HGH. Not estrogen, HGH. Thank you. I was literally like, I don't want to speak. I don't even want to guess because I'm like, I don't know. I just know that this is it. And you know who I heard that from? Joe Rogan. So take that with a grain of salt, please. It's hydrocortisone cream. Believe alone. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. HGH. Is it HGH? Oh, no, that's not it. No. What is it? God damn it. Honey garlic herb. Ooh. Yo, that steak that I made last night, by the way, turned out so fucking good. Can you imagine having to go out and tell everyone your sexual fetish? And do you see straight people going around telling people that their sexual fetish is? Yeah, I do. I do actually a lot. You ever met a straight swinger couple? Fucking A, dude. No, just because you are repressed yourself, you don't go out very much, obviously, because like I said, most of us that have experiences in the world. Pep is so cute when he's patently wrong. Wait, what am I wrong about? Kirk, explain yourself. You're the weirdo trying to push No, again, I'm not trying to push you there. If you're there, then guess what, buddy? You have something to reconcile with. But this is where you can do a little bit of self-help here. Stop caring so much about what others do. Focus on yourself. It's called mind your business. If you mind your business, your life might be a lot happier. But you sit here literally day in, day out, focusing on what other people should do. And it's not even stuff that affects your life like I keep repeating. This never affects you at all. Again, the only way that I can even conceptualize it affecting you is that you accidentally jerked off to a trans chick. No, that's not what it is, but okay. Yeah, if y'all can openly display your pineapple tattoos, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's going after kids. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, statistically, who are the ones that are constantly getting caught with, like, CP and all that stuff? That's kind of weird. It's almost like it's a bunch of conservatives. Do you know how many ex-Jan 6ers just in that bunch have been arrested for that kind of stuff? Weird. How come I don't hear you guys going and crowing about how, those are the groomers. Those are the ones that are actually committing these crimes. But you don't want to fucking focus on that. You don't want to focus on the fact that religious ideology and people, pastors and preachers are the ones that have also been caught in mass. You mean public school teachers? Public school teachers are not teaching this, dude. Like, the idea that you think that public school teachers are doing anything than saying you can do or be whoever you want to be because that's what most teachers are supposed to say, then that's it. The thing is, dude, you do understand that because your kid is learning something about the world, it's not the teachers. You can look at that argument and put the onus on the fucking parents. No, fuck you. Rowdy, it's the parents' fault. You cannot get mad at the teachers when the parents are the ones that should have to fucking pick up the slack for that. Okay, so child comes home with a new idea. And immediately, where'd you hear that? At school? Instead of thinking objectively and just going, oh, they probably heard that from another student, they immediately blame the teachers. Do you know how many moments of that have actually happened? But I'm shutting down the trans argument, so if you are here for that, get fucked. Find another stream to go and harass. We don't give a shit about what is in people's pants, who people love, or any of that. You're the only fucking weirdos that let that consume your lives. So, bye. Have fun. Let's put it this way, everyone. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everyone in Hollywood. Meanwhile, ignore the fucking Epstein list. Speaking of, here, you know what? Let's do this. Since we're here, this is what's going to happen. We're going to discuss the DOJ hiding the Epstein files. Specifically, the ones with Donald Trump's mention. Why would they need to do that if he's such an innocent man? That's odd. That's very odd. Arguments don't change people. No. No, realistically, it's going to be when they realize that could you imagine just for a moment that they're out, they meet the woman of their dreams, find out they're trans, and because of their ideology, they'd rather, instead of just, experimenting with their sexuality, any of that, they just shut it down and remain lonely and then continue to just be cunts online. That's what we're looking at here. So, but let's be real. I don't even think a trans woman could ever love you. Because they have self-respect. And also, I think the second that you let your ideology slip, they would just be like, oh, fuck you. But, yeah, I think that bothers you. Because, that's also why I've never not once have I gotten bothered by getting hit on by a gay person. Now, I've gotten harassed by a gay person, which is a little bit different. Sexual SA is SA. So I will just say, no, I don't care what you are. Not once have I ever had an experience like that with a trans person, though. So, why did conservatives have to focus on the one case of someone competing that wasn't actually trans instead of all the cases of actual trans people competing? I don't know, Sylvie. It's weird. It's almost like they heard Trans Morgan is actually what I'll call him. When will the victims apologize to pedo? Yeah, right. Matt facts. Those women just wanted their $2 million payout. That's it, right? No catering to anyone, catering to yourself and yourself alone. Well, and that's the thing is, why make this why do people make this their identity? And this is funny for all these assholes. They're just like, well, why would a trans person want to have a different identity? Meanwhile, their search history. I'm telling you, their search history is littered with it, man. I swear to God. Again, this is why they can never also answer the Hunter Schafer question, where it's just Rowdy. Actually, Rowdy, since you're a friend of the show here, and I know that we're not exactly on the same page, would you rather? Here, you know what? Fuck it. We need a visual aid for this one. God, I just need to make a visual aid for this. Kim Davis. Hunter Schafer. All right. Kim Davis. A lady. So you're telling me, and I want you to if you do not have an honest answer, because I want to know what you think about her is hotter than her. What? What is it? That's odd. Kim Davis, you're telling me that you'd fuck this 60-year-old, Shrek-looking fucking swamp creature? Or Hollywood starlet? I mean, I can answer. Hunter Schafer all fucking day. What's up? Oh, yeah. So here's MAGA. Here's MAGA's choice, guys. Just remember. All because she has a vagina. I love it. God, I love it. You know what? I love the fact that they just admit it. Or they're like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm that straight that I would fuck the ugliest girl on the planet over having someone that actually makes my pee-pee hard. Take out them dentures, baby. We're getting crazy tonight. Exactly. Who is she? She looks like the dinner lady. She looks like a diner lady or a dinner lady. Dinner lady. She's the one that tried to. She was the gay cakes lady. Pep, you're comparing apples to poop. Well, apparently they want to eat poop instead of eating apples. Isn't that weird? All right, so let's go through this whole thing that they're Lord and Savior, you know. He's totally not hiding anything. yes, I will say that this is opinion. So just remember, when you say fake news, this is an opinion piece in a news column, which I don't think that you guys know how to differentiate that a lot, so I'll do it for you. DOJ choose which Epstein files you'd see and left out the Trump ones. Wall Street Journal. Now, here's another little dinger. Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch owned. Fox News, you know, that guy totally has been a Trump mouthpiece. It's almost like he is kind of had it with the way that they handled this. And also, I am thinking that there's something else here, man. I don't think about anybody else's S life. I don't want my kid being talked off. See, the thing is, Mel, no one's talking to your kids about that shit. You have to talk about, like, Mel, this is where I was going with this. You're the parent. You have to talk to your kid. Like, you have to prepare him for that. So if you're genuinely worried about that, but try to not do it with your bias, because it's actually going to make them think opposite of you. Like, most kids are already, like, programmed to be a little rebellious. Like, that's just how their brains work. So when their parents say, well, this is the ideology you should follow, a healthy-minded child will go, well, I'm going to test that theory. So, again, if you don't want your kid hearing about this, which, from my understanding, your kid is of the age that they already know this stuff, man. Like, also, Mel, I don't think you understand what you're fighting against here. It's not child abuse. The thing is, this isn't... How is it child abuse to tell your kid that there are other types of people? All, like, just because you are the ones that always connotate it to or, like, tie it to a fucking sexual connotation instead of just being like, yeah, these people just exist, you know? While most other kids that have good parents that, like, for instance, explain to their 6-year-old, hey, so you know why Tim, like little Timmy, has 2 daddies? Well, sometimes 2 men can love each other and get married. That's just how it goes. They're not talking about the sexual aspects of it unless... Are you guys breaking down the sexual aspects of everything that every time that your kid watches a Disney film, like anytime that Aladdin and Jasmine kiss, are you explaining to them that, do you know that when they started kissing, that's how babies are made? Interesting. It's almost like you understand the difference, and you understand that you can explain these things without always taking it to your weird perversions. Like, the perverted people in these spaces are the ones that constantly think of it in a sexual light, by the way. Trump is a movie star. He's gone to Diddy parties, dude. Trump thinking Trump is a saint is laughable. He's the same awful celebrity as most other celebrities. I mean, the thing is, that's why he was so pissed, is because he wasn't part of the celebrity circles that he wanted to be part of. He didn't get his football team. I always wanted to own a newspaper, and that, like, when he said that about, like, his Twitter, that was wild, man. That was wild. But yeah, maybe you've heard of something called freedom. No, they haven't. Because again, freedom means that they are free from having to deal with anything that makes them uncomfortable. That's their idea of freedom. That's why I think that most conservatives are shitheads. Like, realistically, I cannot get behind the idea that they stop at a certain point, and instead of just being like, it makes me uncomfortable, I don't like it, but I'll just ignore it. Now, here's the difference, too, with MAGA, because I can already see where the counter argument to this would be. It's like, why are you so obsessed with... It's like, because you guys are the ones that are always in my fucking face. You're the ones who don't know how to live and let live. So immediately, like, where I'm just walking by, dude, seriously, like, just on here, look at this long-haired liberal hippie, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's the liberals who are the problems. It's the left that's the problem. It's the people that usually just want to let people live their fucking lives without always being fucking harassed that turn out to be the problem. Because again, this also goes to religion. This goes like, we can't have this Islamic religion being part of our country. We're a Christian nation, even though we're not. Like, fuck off, guys. But back to this. The biggest Epstein Files story yet dropped Tuesday night when the Wall Street Journal God damn it. We're going to start again. The biggest Epstein file story yet dropped Tuesday night in the Wall Street Journal, and you probably missed it. The United States has just launched a military strike on Iran, and every screen in the country was pointed at the Middle East. In that environment, a major accountability story about the Justice Department and 47,635 missing Epstein files didn't stand much of a chance of breaking through the noise. It deserves one. Here is what the Journal found. After analyzing the DOJ's public Epstein database, the paper identified tens of thousands of files that appeared to be missing. When reporters Sandy Gurman and Caitlin Ostrov pressed the Justice Department about the discrepancy, a spokeswoman confirmed that 47,635 documents were being held offline for further review. The department hadn't previously volunteered that information and confirmed it only after being asked about the gap. The number alone should reshape how the public understands the DOJ's legally bound rollout of the Epstein files. Again, people forget that this is signed into law by the very person who is ignoring them. For weeks, the Justice Department characterized the problem surrounding its document release as the predictable friction of a massive, logistically complex operation, tagging errors, privacy reviews, deadline pressure. Those explanations carried some weight when the issues involved scattered redaction mistakes and documents that briefly disappeared and were reposted. A backlog approaching 50,000 files that never appeared in the public database falls into that very same category. Or into a very different category. Wow, that was my brain trying to guess. Oh, AI bunny. But the detail that changes the nature of the story entirely is more specific than the aggregate count. The Journal reports that the Justice Department released one FBI interview summary from a woman who alleged that Jeffrey Epstein abused her as a minor, while withholding 3 additional interview summaries of that same witness. The documents that were withheld are the ones in which she discussed President Donald Trump. So they released the ones where she discussed Epstein, but not Trump. Not sus at all. We're the most transparent administration of all time. That document was released in one in which she discussed Epstein. Before going further, a necessary caveat. FBI Form 302s are agent-written summaries of the witness interviews. They are not sworn testimony. They are not verified accounts. These documents have been contested and criticized among multiple high-profile investigations. Republicans argued strenuously that the 302s were manipulated during the Flynn investigation, and they were not entirely wrong to question how those summaries are produced. The content of they're actually doing some good journalism here. The content of what this woman told FBI agents about Trump is unproven and should be treated as such. The issue here is not the allegation itself. The issue is the pattern of what the Justice Department chose to release and what they are choosing to keep offline. It's almost like they're hiding something. The department had reviewed all 4 of these interview summaries. It published a summary of the woman's allegations in January, which means officials knew what the document contained. Man, I'm stammering today. Then it released a memo documenting her accounts of Epstein's conduct while leaving the 3 memos describing her account with Trump's conduct out of the public database. Again, why do that if it's just, it's so fake, but make your mind up for yourself. Transparency and all. The department had reviewed all 4 of these interview summaries. It published a summary of the woman's allegations in January, which means officials knew what the documents contained. Then it released a memo documenting her account of Epstein. Oh, I just read that. This is where I need to update an argument I made in this space earlier this month. I wrote that the Justice Department had created a situation in which incompetence and concealment had become functionally indistinguishable. That chaos in a transparency process produces the same practical results as a cover-up regardless of intent. I gave the department the benefit of the doubt on motive because the evidence at that point did not clearly establish one. The journal's reporting removes much of the anecdotal cushion. What it describes looks less like a department that lost control of a complicated document release and more like a department that has exercised precise control over which portions of a witness's account the public would see. That is editorial judgment applied to a federal transparency mandate, and the result happened to benefit the president, whose appointees are running the process. Yeah, it's almost, in layman's terms, the president's men are in charge of investigating the president and found that he has done nothing wrong, even though they're burying files, while simultaneously saying that those files are all there for you to see. The most transparent president in history. Wall Street Journal's role in this story carries weight beyond the quality of its reporting, which is considerable. The paper operates inside Rupert Murdoch's media empire, the same empire that built Fox News into the most powerful pro-Trump media institution in the country. When the newsroom publishes a carefully sourced report describing Trump's Justice Department withholding FBI interview memos that reference Trump himself, the story clears a credibility threshold that critics from either party will have difficulty dismissing. The Journal reports that it reviewed copies of the documents but does not explain how it obtained them, leaving open the possibility that they came from congressional investigators, litigation files, or someone inside the department. That sourcing question does not undermine the reporting, but in a story of this magnitude, it is a detail worth noting as the full picture develops. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche have both insisted categorically that nothing was withheld for political sensitivity and that the department complied fully with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Those are strong claims that now sit alongside a documented report or record of selective disclosure. The transparency law that they say they followed explicitly prohibits withholding documents on the grounds that they might embarrass public figures. The department released one document from a 4-document set, and the 3 it withheld are the ones that mention the president. Bondi and Blanche are entitled to offer their explanation. They are not entitled to have it accepted without documentation that matches its certainty. What the Justice Department appears to have done, and this is fresh, and this is the fresh, more troubling interpretation of the story that has been unfolding for weeks, is use transparency as a performance. It released enough material to claim compliance with the law while quietly maintaining control over the portions of the record most politically damaging to the president it serves. That kind of approach produces a problem far more corrosive than bureaucratic sloppiness because it's designed to remain deniable. Each individual decision can be attributed to the process. The pattern those decisions form tell a different story. The Justice Department still has an opportunity to close the gap between its assurances and public record. That window exists. It's narrowing, and in a news environment where military strikes in the Middle East are consuming most of the public's attention, the temptation for officials to let this story fade into the background must be considerable. This is an opinion piece. The views expressed in this article are that of the author, authored by Colby Hall of Mediaite. All right. Well, here we go. Here is a little more background in that story.
So you have the Department of Justice removing evidence of Epstein's supposed suicide. The DOJ has also removed at least 65,000.
Yoli Flores, welcome. I appreciate you being here.
27 pages, CBS News found. The White House spokesperson told NPR in response that the president, quote, has done more for Epstein's victims than anyone before him, unquote, and has been, quote, totally exonerated on anything relating to Epstein. Also complete bullshit.
You can help build the only independent.
There's nobody in school saying those words. Do you feel like a boy? Do you feel like a girl? No, that's inside your head. That is what permeates this shit is conservative fear. like conservative fear mongering on that basis. Like, honestly,
And always
go to a fucking PTA
on the
meeting.
ground with the people for as low as 16 cents a day.
Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you're going straight to the
With
people.
all due respect, Melly.
Michigan.
Brooklyn, New York.
Government sending one more you to the residents of Chicago.
We need as many independent voices as possible, and that's why what you guys do is so important.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
Hey, it's JT Siskowski with Status Coup. While the world is distracted by the war in Iran, the Trump Justice Department is removing tens of thousands of pages from the publicly accessible version of the Epstein files. This is based on reporting from CBS News. Let's get into it. This is what they have to say. The DOJ has been taking down Epstein files. Here's what remains. After removing tens of thousands of files, the Department of Justice currently makes public about 2.7 million pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, a CBS News analysis found, a number below the department's initial claim of 3 million, and a total that continues to fluctuate. The Justice Department
No, what'll win the argument is if I decide to ban you, then it's just, I won.
initially said that its release made in response to a law passed
So one
by
of the
Congress
many benefits
compelling
of being
the
a streamer.
agency to disclose nearly all files related to Epstein comprised more than 3 million pages. Combined with previously released materials, the department put the total
got
at
cold.
3.5 million pages. And now, in part, in response to widespread criticism and concern from survivors and their attorneys that the files contain nearly 100 survivors' personal information and photos, the DOJ has
By the
scrambled
way,
to
guys, I missed my lunch, so I do have to.
remove documents. A CBS News analysis found that as of late February,
second.
the Justice Department
I don't think that you're fighting, Melly, but I'm gonna bring up your one comment about that.
has taken down more than 47,000 files
It's
comprising
either agree to disagree, or you're just gonna keep digging a hole.
about 65,500 pages. Links to those files now return a page not found error on the department's website. But I want to point out that CBS News is being incredibly generous to the administration by preceding in excuses for the administration about why these documents are being removed,
Right.
saying that, oh,
That's why Mediaite even had to report on this.
the Department of Justice has been taking down documents to review and remove victims' identifying information, which is important. Don't get me wrong, but CBS News also does not know for a fact, unless they have been able to review all 65,000 pages of these documents, that that's why all of these pages are being removed. If the Department of Justice is not going to publicly address why it is removing these tens of thousands of pages of documents, I would expect CBS News.
Because the only moving forward, really, realistically, is you guys have to agree that they can live their lives. And honestly, this is where we can say, if we, like, for instance, I don't think you guys have ever heard this. God damn it, I'm Hassaning. Give me a second. That was rude. My bad. It had to be a protein bar that had peanut butter in it. God damn it. All right. How can we move forward if we agree to disagree? You move forward by, you have to make a concession, and then I will concede that if I find out that there's any teachers out there asking any minors, do you feel like a boy or girl, then they should be fired. Ignore that. This is why I don't eat on stream. God, you know how many times Hassan's probably done that in his chats, just like, based. We love to see his son chew with his mouth open and get his schmutz all over his mic.
As supposedly some journalistic institution to try and act with, I don't know, a little bit more skepticism about the federal government's claims, especially when they have proven time and again not to be a reliable actor, especially as it relates to the release of the Epstein files. This is not the first time as well that we
Who threatened who?
have heard about files being removed.
If there's any threats going on in chat, yeah, I will immediately
From the publicly accessible database that the
taking care
Department of
of
Justice was ordered under law passed by Congress to release. We had also heard they had been removing documents that, in part, illustrated the totality of evidence that the Department of Justice had about a credible accuser against the President of the United States.
What, because I use a traditionally Jewish term?
Of sexual assault against a minor.
My mom used to say that shit. She's like, you got some schmutz on your face because she couldn't say shit.
The Department of Justice had done a number of interviews with this accuser, but a document that showed that that accuser had been interviewed 4 times was temporarily removed from the Department of Justice's online database and then was only returned to being publicly accessible once they were called out on it by.
You do understand that when I brought up that agree to disagree thing, you get like the people on the right expect us to just be like, yeah, you know what? We'll agree to disagree, and we'll also just you guys want us to just be like, no, you know what? You're right. We should just get rid of trans ideology in general. We should just tell everybody that they're what you think they are. They're just fucking crazy people. That's what you want. That's why there will be no agreeing to disagree on that. Where my position is much more nuanced, where it's like, okay, you, again, allow them to live and let live. Don't think about it so much. And if you do have an example of this being a problem, you don't take it right to the ideology is the problem.
Journalist.
No, the person's the fucking problem.
Roger Sullenberger. So this is a pattern.
Just like I can point to any fundamental fucking MAGA chud being a fucking problem on your end, and then you guys could probably agree, he doesn't speak to me. Or, like, this is why I play the game with my chat, where it's like, do you guys actually own the worst people that have literally said, we hope your wife, doesn't make it? Like, I've literally had that almost daily. So you're telling me that you would just own those shitheads because they're part of your ideology? Or do you understand that there is nuance here where if somebody's a shithead, they could get called out by us? The thing is, you disingenuously use all these news reports that turn out to be fake. That's the problem. Or they're misreported. It's like, my favorite one was Joe Rogan in the cat fucking box. That one turned out to be completely fucking fake. But you know what a lot of people were doing? Oh, now they're telling my kid that they could be a furry. It's that shit. And honestly, it's also an excuse for you not to be a fucking parent. Stop trying to make society the fucking parents of your kids. Parent your fucking kids. The iPad didn't do a good job.
A demonstrable pattern. I wanted to see if
and the failure is now reflecting on you.
The files related to that accuser had been removed as part of these tens of thousands of pages that have been removed as part of the Epstein files. It does not seem as though they have been. This here is the interview that the one publicly accessible interview of the 4 that the
yes, and you're afraid of fucking you are afraid of trans people. You do understand that. You have the, like, Rowdy, this is why you piss me off sometimes. You say something that makes sense, but then you don't understand how to apply that to your ideology. You think that it's just on the other side to see it your way.
Justice and the FBI did with the accuser.
What's up, DJX? Good to see you, brother.
This is a spreadsheet of many claims against many people made in the files. That is still accessible. And then this is the document that had been previously removed by the Department of Justice that shows a little bit deeper in here in the document that shows how the Department of Justice.
Yeah, the thing is, if you do not actually teach them properly, they're gonna it's gonna get much worse for you.
Justice had interviewed this accuser against the president several times. That is still here. So this is all still publicly accessible, I am happy to say. Though, as we're about to get into here, the Department of Justice has removed quite a bit. Returning back here to the reporting from CBS News, what's missing? Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said that the DOJ withheld duplicate files that they would jeopardize active investigations, child abuse material, and files that would reveal survivors' personal information. The Justice Department said they are preparing written justifications for the redactions and will publish them in the Federal Register. But questions remain on what those files contain. The Justice Department appears to have withheld records from an interview with a
Melly, this is a learning curve.
Woman who accused President Trump of sexually assaulting her when
honestly, I think that you have the ability to see where we're coming from on this.
She was a minor. NPR first.
Some people in chat don't.
Reported that's false. It was actually Roger Sullenberger who first reported it, but that aside. Serial numbers stamped onto the bottom of each document indicate several from this.
You teach them that they cannot be trans. Don't be surprised if they come to you later in life and say, Dad, it turns out that I'm trans.
Interview
are you telling me that you're gonna not love your kid anymore?
Are missing. The Department of Justice
are you just gonna blame lefties for ruining your child?
Now reviewing whether these files were wrongfully withheld. A White House spokesperson told NPR in response that the president, quote, has done more for Epstein's victims than anyone before him, unquote, and has been, quote, totally exonerated on anything relating to Epstein. Also complete bullshit. And the fact that CBS News does not call that out here in this document or in this report is, I think, in itself kind of damning against CBS News in the fact that they
Yes, it's almost like we have all been saying that this was going to be the thing the second that they made Barry Weiss the fucking head of CBS.
call.
It's almost like they did exactly what they claimed the left was doing, where, oh, all these left-wing publications, all this fake news. And now it's literally all right-wing publications spewing fake news.
A spade here. And,
and the funny part is, this is where we fucked up. It's just like, now, if we say that, they're going to be like, oh, so now it's fake news. Huh? It's like, yeah, oh my God, because they don't understand that it was bought by right-wingers. They just don't get it.
Demonstrate the fact that the president.
But, like I said, CBS and all these news stations are going to take the L there because none of these assholes are going to go watch their shit.
Has not been totally exonerated by what is in the files. In fact, the president is credibly accused of sexually assaulting a minor inside of these files. But CBS News doesn't draw that one-to-one comparison, just hopes that you or anybody reading this story are going to have the background knowledge to know that to be the case, but are otherwise just kind of doing the administration's dirty work and propaganda for them by treating all of their claims as credible and acting as though they are reliable actors here, even though they have proven time and again that they cannot be. The DOJ has also removed at least 65,527 pages, CBS News found. Several are photos from the Metropolitan Correction Center where Epstein was held and died in 2019, including photos of his cell and prescription medications found there. Others are photos of hard drives and computers and other evidence investigators gathered on the cases, like file folders whose contents are unclear or a bag whose label said it contained the ligature discovered around Epstein's neck. So you have the Department of Justice removing evidence of Epstein's supposed suicide from when he died.
Again, if anybody from MAGA heard this while it was Biden, they would immediately just be like, we have to impeach him.
Even though that narrative is being called into question by not just, regular people who are putting...
Wait, I haven't asked that question yet. So if it turned out that Joe Biden had as much exposure as Donald Trump in the Epstein files, you guys would be calling for that, right?
The pieces together for themselves. But I'll note also some prominent figures like Julie K. Brown, who was the one who originally rebroke the Epstein story in 2018 that eventually led to his arrest. She's a journalist at the Miami Herald. She believes that Epstein did not kill himself. We've done plenty of reporting on that here at Status Quo as well, about all of the questions that still surround Epstein's death. But is the Department of Justice really doing themselves any favors by removing these documents?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I suppose they are. If people really they are turning.
Okay, so we'll take that and then apply it to Trump. And now that we can agree that any president that is doing this type of thing should be investigated.
The other way, or being distracted by the war in Iran right now. But I mean, the fact that we're doing this video on it, CBS News is doing this report. I mean, I think that enough.
If Biden did what Trump is doing, they'd storm the Capitol again. Yep.
People are still paying attention to the Epstein story, that this is
What's
not
up, Bryant? How's it going? How was Stardew Valley?
Going to go away. Some are photos of women or girls that were already redacted. One removed photo, which has since been restored, showed Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick with Epstein on Epstein's private island. Lutnick has not been accused of any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein, and in a congressional hearing said he had, quote, nothing to hide, unquote. Some redactions in files that remain online obscures some broad swaths of documents without explanation, including FBI interviews with witnesses and a document labeled as a grand jury transcript. Lawmakers can request to review the full unredacted files in person. Representative Ro Khanna was among those who made the request and came back with the names of 6 men in contact with Epstein whose names had been redacted, but did not accuse them of criminal wrongdoing. In the wake of this report, I went to go see if Representative
thanks, dude.
Ro Khanna or Representative
Mitchell. I really appreciate that,
Thomas
brother.
Massey, the Democrat and Republican who initially sponsored the Epstein
Bob Smith, what up, dude?
Files Transparency Act.
How you doing, Bob?
Had anything to say about the
Welcome
fact
to
that
the show.
tens of thousands of documents are being removed from the publicly
me.
accessible database, and at least as of recently, neither has spoken out on this, which to me is a damn shame. You would hope that as they continue to follow this story, that they would be continuing to hold the Department of Justice accountable. So we'll continue to press them for answers on that as well. Returning here now to the reporting, the unreleased documents likely include files obtained from Epstein's computers, hard drives, and other electronic devices. Emails from FBI engineers described terabytes of data that the FBI obtained from phones, tablets, cameras.
See, like that guy. Y'all Trump haters are a bunch of F words. There you go.
Servers and laptops. Some of these files list some of those devices seized from Epstein
That's your best?
Well, the vast tranche of emails, photos, and videos included in the most recent release, their combined file size is far smaller than what investigators describe CBS's News' analysis.
Where's the line of live and let live? Unless it starts actually impeding your life, like not just your life, and unless it's like violence, if it's like straight up harassment, then yeah, okay. But that's the line, dude.
It's found.
So I have an answer for you.
Many emails contained attachments that were not released. And on that size of the Epstein files, we have
accepting. Listen, it's not about them. The acceptance is on them. You do understand that your child is not a fucking extension of you. If you had a child for that reason, you're the fucking problem. God damn.
Previously reported here on staff.
The amount of people that have kids because they think it's going to somehow be their way to eternity, not immortality. Jesus Christ. Is insane to me. These people that are just like, I mean, seriously, Rowdy, would you not love your kids if they just turned out to be like the opposite of what you thought they were going to be?
That is cool.
Like fucking A, man.
About how the totality of what has been released, while significant to...
You're kind of showing me that if you have kids, you might be a bad parent if you think that. Fucking Christ. What you are supposed to do as a parent is you're supposed to get them ready for the world. So if you're doing that by holding everything in and not teaching them these things, I'm just going to say, you're the problem. You're a bad parent. Don't blame the world. Blame you.
Million pages have been released from the Epstein files. It still amounts to just 2% of the total data that the Department of Justice had previously indicated they had in their...
Dang, I just got here. What up, God King?
Side of their files from all of the hard drives that they had acquired. Now, to be sure, I'm going to assume that most of what's being withheld here are photos and videos because those are the largest types of file sizes that I would reasonably expect to be included in the Epstein files. So we might still have a majority of the documents, but it is plainly obvious that some files in the Epstein files are being withheld because there is 98% of the data that the DOJ still has. Plus, there are at least 3 interviews with a credible Trump.
I just avoid most people. Problem solved. Again, creating antisocial behaviors, wondering why people don't like you.
Publicly by the Department of Justice. We're going to continue to follow this story here at Status Coup.
I'm not saying you, Josh. I'm just saying that's the mentality that leads to that.
If you want to get those updates, please get subscribed.
The world's not the problem. I'm not the problem. The world's the problem.
And if you're already subscribed, I would encourage you to become a paying member because it's what allows us to continue to do
Trust
this
me.
kind of...
I'm a streamer that doesn't like leaving his house very much, but when I do, I also do get that little refresh, like it's a refreshment of like, oh, yeah, the world's not as bad as I thought.
Important accountability journal.
Except for when you go to Costco. That will definitely test your faith.
We don't get distracted. Don't allow ourselves to become distracted from these real stories by the Trump administration, running these wars in the Middle East as a way to distract from what is in the Epstein files. We stay focused on these important stories. So if you can, go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5 a month.
You bailed on SC? Who's SC?
You go to keep us editorially independent.
So I got to be honest with you guys. I am absolutely disgusted at the U.S. media and their pro-war slopaganda.
I'm so glad he did this, by the way.
That they've been pumping out.
Yeah, dude. And by the way, for everybody that claims fake news, it's all of them. From CBS, CNN, Fox News, all of them. War porn at this point.
Since Netanyahu and Trump decided
status coup
to illegally...
Oh, wait. Okay, what'd you say about status coup? Polygraph. They both side stuff for the last time.
And offensively.
Dude, you do have to understand, it's not about both sidesing. Sometimes you do just have to report with nuance. And part of that is recognizing that there's another side of things. And people, there are centrists. Not everybody is as online brained as us, man. Fuck.
Strike Iran, and Iran has fought back. It is just so disturbing. At this point, if you're in mainstream media and you don't sound like me covering these segments, you fucked up.
Allison almost bought them all. He's trying. He's going to own WB and Paramount. That's insane. We used to have laws against this.
At this point, hair on fire is the proper reaction. Anger is the proper reaction. There's no room anymore for even some both side shit. I'm going to give the MAGA perspective and the non-MAGA perspective. No, don't give the war criminal perspective and the non-war criminal perspective. Bro, you got to tell the truth. Tell the truth. We are going through the same bullshit that we went through during the war in Iraq, where the media lied to us relentlessly, repeatedly, over and over, brainwashed people, said the dumbest shit imaginable, asked the dumbest questions imaginable.
The problem is Kyle doesn't recognize his inherent bias. I do.
It's like they only pick people who are professionally...
That's why I think I actually do have like centrists and right-wingers that come to my audience and they're just like, yeah, you know what? You're not like every other leftist out there. It's like, yeah, because I try to break from that.
He's stupid.
Not from the leftists. I try to break from the idea. It's just like, oh, it's all from my bubble. Like, I did realize that I was getting bubbled in, and I was just like, I gotta stop that.
For these positions, okay? So let's start with this one here. Dropsite News got this. This is an NBC interview with the Iranian foreign minister, okay? Now, this guy's serious. He's involved in the negotiations. He knows all the ins and outs of what's going on. And the NBC host, I mean, you're about to see this here.
It's had one of the hardest fucking pistachios ever.
They should be fired. They should be fired for this. This is absolutely humiliating. They have no idea what they're doing, but functionally, they're serving the role of being pro-Trump and pro-war with their sheer idiocy. Watch this.
So for clarity, you said that your missiles cannot reach the United States by design, that you do not want to reach the United States, but you also said it would be necessary as a defensive vehicle that you could if necessary. So to be clear, are you committing that Iran is not and will not build missiles that would have the capability to reach the United
Uni's doing very well, thank you.
States?
Much better than yesterday.
I can confirm, yes.
Sir, if that's a red line for you, why is attacking U.S. military bases abroad justified?
But because they are attacking us. They are U.S. military, installations, facilities, bases who are attacking us. We are under attack.
These people look like they don't even have functioning brains. They look like they're AI generated. They look straight out of central casting. Why, sir, are you attacking U.S. military bases in the region? Are you a child? Like, literally, are you a child wearing like an adult suit? Are you a couple people in a fucking trench coat and then you threw a tie? What is wrong with you? They were attacked. Netanyahu and Trump, Israel and the U.S. illegally attacked them. They assassinated their sovereign leader, okay? They are carpet bombing Tehran, killing innocent people all over the place. Like, what are you, crazy? So yes, if you get attacked, usually you respond to that by attacking back. He literally, okay, the Iranian foreign minister...
Does uni equal college? No!
Literally left.
No. Oh, geez. I just realized that could be confused. No, my wife's handle in chat is Unimoogle.
Laughed in their face. He laughed in their face like...
So everybody that asks about my wife and they say uni, they're asking about her. Sorry, guys.
They are... U.S. media people are like forced to disregard all context, all history, all facts, and go in there like a little deep state programmed drone, and where you pull the drawstring on the back and they go, why are you attacking the U.S.? Why do you hate the United States? And like, by the way, they ask these questions like...
By the way, guys, you guys can contribute to the Cancer Fund through the link in the description of the stream here.
Can you assure that you...
Every little bit goes a long way with us.
You are not going to build a nuke.
And I do have the update coming.
And he's
probably going to be over like 25K.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
We already said that 78 times. What are you talking?
That's with what we... I applied for some, insurance stuff and...
Talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
We literally just said it the other day. Trump said, he won't just say the magic words that we're not going to build a nuke.
I got some stories
and he
for
went out
y'all
on Twitter
coming
and
up,
said,
man.
I'm going to say the magic words. We're not building a nuke. And Trump goes, can you believe they won't say it? Can you believe they won't say it? This is psycho shit. This is psycho shit. We're living in like bizarro land.
Why don't you, recognize this fact? We are under the attack by U.S. forces in the region. So we have every right to defend ourselves. And how to defend ourselves? We attacked, the U.S. bases. This is obvious. This is a very simple fact, and I hope that, and I'm sure that people would understand that.
I'm trying,
literally
guys.
talking to like babies. It sounds like he's explaining this to like toddlers. He's flabbergasted.
Take a shower.
Nice. Really? How do I have to fucking explain this? You guys attacked us. We're defending ourselves.
Simple fact, and I hope that, and I'm sure that people would understand that. We are not the one who attacked Americans. We are only defending ourselves.
Come on, man.
Incredible, but I'm not done. Because then, you might say, well, at least we have, like, CNN who tries to do a better job. Oh, my God. Please, spare me.
Fucking infuriating.
Wall to
God
wall.
damn it, this thing sucks.
Pro-war, pro-Trump, slopaganda. It's just a slopaganda fest. We are right back in
things.
motherfucking
Really
2002, 2003, with the build-up to the Iraq War, where everybody just stops thinking independently. And listen to what they're saying on CNN. Dana Bash is a disgrace. She's a disgrace, and she should be fired.
I think that it is imperative the Democratic Party wake up and get past their dislike of Donald Trump, the President Trump, and their feelings of...
The Democratic Party should wake up and get past their dislike of Donald Trump. Get past the, the pedophilia and the rape and the war crimes and the destruction of the U.S. Constitution and the doing a coup and the plotting to steal the next election.
No, this is the prep to rally behind the flag bullshit.
And the tax cuts for the billionaires, for the Epstein class. Get over it, because he did a war that I want him to do. Who do they invite on to represent the Iranian perspective? They have on psychos from the Iranian diaspora who've been begging.
Nobody's feeling any remorse for the fucking Iranian regime. Like, this whole dog whistle bullshit that's going on out there, where automatically you guys think that the left was somehow supporting the Shah. We're anti-war. The thing is, we recognize the lies. There was no imminent threat. We have gone since 1978 without doing any of this. I have brought up multiple times how multiple administrations saw that this would lead to a possible world war. But Trump's administration, it's so convenient how they need something to distract from the Epstein files, so it's a fucking war. And then all of a sudden, they're just like, well, we need to rally behind this, and we need to rally behind the regime. We need to rally behind Trump.
Had a boner for the U.S. to bomb their country for fucking decades.
Meanwhile, in reality, the dude is so unpopular because the economy is tanking because of this shit. He can't run from it. People are genuinely pissed about how his DOJ is handling the Epstein files. But sure, it's all about the left having some sympathy for Iran. Get fucked.
Okay, that's who.
Stop believing the propaganda. Because right now, you are being fucking propagandized out the ass. Every single news network, every single newspaper, every single right-wing commentator, they are just warmongers that are fucking selling this shit on you. And unless you plan on strapping those fucking boots up and going and fighting in a foreign country, shut the fuck up.
Do they think this?
If you, for 1 second, did the whole thing where you're like, Kamala's going to take us into war, Hillary's going to take us into war. Again, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, do something for me, put 2 middle fingers up, and then look at yourself and just be like, oh yeah, oh.
This represents the Iranian perspective. Are you fucking? It doesn't even represent the...
Because you're fucked in the head.
American perspective. 28% is the high for people that support us going to war with Iran. I've seen numbers as low as 5% support it. And you bring on somebody to make the pro-war case and browbeat Democrats who've been proven right about motherfucking everything?
No, you're being propagandized.
Jesus Christ.
And
this is also why, like, what my show is. I'm a political commentator that does news aggregation. At some point, you guys don't pay me enough to think for you. Like, if you want me to think for you, hit that dono button.
Feelings of international conflicts going on. This is about national security. This is about what is possible in the Middle East.
How is it about national?
But until then, hit the like button. That helps.
National security, if Iran wasn't a threat to us. They weren't going to attack us. They weren't going to attack Israel. It's a total fucking lie to say it's about national security. She's just allowing lies to be broadcast.
This is about what is possible in the Middle East. This is about being a good neighbor, good partner to the Gulf states and what their aspirations.
A good partner to the Gulf states. They're literally being obliterated. They're on the front line of absolute destruction. Their hotels are being attacked.
Again, no new wars, and now we're in Israel's war. Shut up. President Trump didn't solve shit. Listen. You guys are such morons that you're not even fucking praising the right guy. Technically, if you're supporting this, you should be fucking glazing Netanyahu,
US
not Trump.
Bases there are being...
Trump didn't do shit. Trump literally was getting butt-fucked by Netanyahu, and then he decided, yeah, you know what? We'll help.
Absolutely destroyed. Their oil facility.
Joint mission with Israel leading, and the U.S. just kind of sitting in the background, in the cuck chair.
Are being attacked. So tourism, fucked. Oil, fucked. Like their whole economy is just up in smoke now. And, it's about being a good neighbor. They're saying, fucking stop.
He thought he was going to gain some points if he did the war thing and diverted our attention.
What are you doing?
The thing is, most people do not have an appetite for this. Like MAGA, again, the floor is there, or the ceiling, whatever you want to call it. But the 27%, they're never moving. That's his base. But it's never going to increase.
This is about
the rally behind the flag's not coming this time because most of us have memories of 9/11. Unfortunately for Trump, the biggest median age cohort. Sorry, my brain just like literally decided to take a break halfway through that. But the biggest age cohort in the country are millennials at this point.
Supporting the people of Venezuela.
The boomers are dying off. So the old Reagan trickle down economics, war for peace kind of crowd, they're all dying off. And the rest of us are just like, no, you took us into 2 illegal wars, kept us there for over 20 years, spent trillions of dollars, lost countless lives, and nobody had an appetite for this. And we're not even 10 years removed from the last day we were there, which, again, you guys disingenuously used against Biden because, 13 soldiers died, but what now? Why do you guys only care about soldiers' deaths when it happens under a Democrat? That's kind of odd. It's almost like you guys are disingenuous assholes that really, really have no nuance to your politics. You guys follow the regime. You guys listen to the government, and you're like, yes.
One illegal and offensive.
That's why we can all make fun of you. If you ever flew the "Don't Tread on Me" flag,
war isn't
tread harder, Daddy.
Enough for you. You want to go on CNN to support multiple illegal and offensive wars? I'm done, bro. I'm done. Oh, my days. How is this allowed on TV? We have an absolute...
I was against Trump since 2015 because he was not fit to be president. Eric, I'm right there with you.
Bloodlusting, psychopathic madman, a fascist imperialist who's leading us into World War III, and this is CNN? This is CNN? Guys, this is even worse than...
Don't believe the propaganda. Listen to Pepaganda.
Normally, my criticism of CNN is this...
Actually, that's the second time that you have come up with a banger.
They do.
You need to write these down. Write that one down because I didn't write the last one down, and now my stoner brain was just like,
both sides bullshit all day long. False equivalence bullshit all day long. This is worse than that. This is, you might as well grab your fucking Fox News.
You mean the jabby jab that Trump wanted you to take? Shut up.
Pom-poms.
All of a sudden, the jabby jab became a problem the second that a Democrat won.
Israeli pom-poms and just fucking go all in. This is crazy.
Dismembering our relationship with, or not dismembering, but resetting our relationship with China. Right now, 55% of the oil production that Iran produces goes to China despite sanctions. You want to support the people of Ukraine? You want to end that war? You have to. There is no getting around dismembering this Islamic Republic. It is non-negotiable. It is not a want to have. It is a have to have. And it's not just for the Iranian people. I think you have to trust the Iranian people. We know this government better than anyone else. When you dismember and decapitate this regime, you are going to see a change in the Middle East, in Venezuela, in China.
The ones that were like, I don't believe Big Pharma, but I'll take ivermectin without recognizing that ivermectin's produced by Pfizer.
In Ukraine.
AKA morons.
And I think, quite frankly, their ideology has really, it's caused a lot of problems.
Got Nick Fuentes screaming, vote Democrat now? Yeah, I know.
Problems for us worldwide. We need to take it seriously. And I think at this point, we have a tremendous opportunity. This will be like ending the Soviet Union, the Berlin Wall.
Oh my God, I can't take it. Meanwhile, what happened? After we illegally and offensively murdered the Grand Ayatollah, there were massive numbers of people who went out into the streets to show solidarity with the regime.
Yep.
That's what they did.
Yeah, but you don't see that. That's part of the problem. On American media, you're not going to see that.
I'm sorry. The one way to get people to rally around the flag is to go in there and bomb the whole government. That makes people... There's so many people.
No. That's why I thought the nuclear deal that Obama had in place was pretty solid. The thing is, I have paid attention to geopolitics since high school. And when I was in high school in 2003, they agreed to end their nuclear program, and they maintained that up until Trump decided, yeah, you know what? We don't need this deal that we just made because the Grand Ayatollah, again, not a great person, but he was at least smart enough to understand that threatening to nuke the world would bring this type of smoke to him. Genuinely, I think that everybody that is in MAGA thinks that Iran is like Iraq. They don't understand that Iran's an actual fucking country.
Who don't even like the IRGC now, who are going... Yeah, but I don't want to get bombed and murdered by Israel in the U.S. This is psycho shit. And Dana Bash hasn't said a fucking thing to interject to say, well, hold on now, that's not true, or that's not right, or that's not accurate, or hey, you're editorializing here. Not a single fucking thing.
This opportunity, this will be like ending the Soviet Union, the Berlin Wall. This is a transformational moment for humankind, for security, and as an American, this is in our interest to complete it. So.
What in the Bill Nye the Science Guy am I looking at on the left there? What the fuck?
I am a Democrat. I have been a huge Democrat.
We don't want you. Go be a Republican. You're not a Democrat. This is not Democrat shit. This is Diet MAGA shit. Like, sure, I just said you should go easy on the pedophile, rapist, war criminal who's waging illegal and offensive wars. But like, hey, I'm a Democrat. No, you're not. This is bullshit. See, this is actually more nefarious than Fox News. With Fox News, you know what you're getting. You know what the fuck you're getting. You know you're getting pro-Trump, pro-MAGA, pro-Republican, pro-war, pro-Israel slopaganda. You know what you're getting over there. Here, they're going to pretend.
Bride of Frankenstein. Oh my God, she did.
Like, oh no.
She looked like the classic bride.
Actually, I'm a Democrat, but turns out Trump is right about this. Are you kidding me? He should be in prison. He should be impeached. He should be in prison.
Uh-oh, Dino Nuggie and Chucky Milk Time.
So should
He'll be back. Nice.
Oh, this is a joke.
I am a Democrat. I have been a huge Democrat. I am incredibly disappointed
Meal of
with
champions
my party.
right there.
I do not see myself in them in this moment.
You're not a Democrat. Get the fuck out of the party. Look, I know I'm going hard in the paint lately.
I'll catch you later, Rowdy.
Excuse me. Let me go a little harder. If you're a Democrat and you support this illegal and offensive war against Iran, you should be stripped of being a Democrat. You should be kicked out of the party. And we should do that with a motherfucking smile on our face. We should all drink champagne and have fun as we purge the party of all of these fucking freaks. Because like I said, the high is 28% of Americans support this war. The low is...
Got some really good tea now. I have to use one of these things, though.
It's 5%. By kicking them out, we're doing the world a favor and we're attracting more people with functioning brains, okay? This is unacceptable. This is what CNN is doing. By the way, they learned nothing from Iraq. Absolutely nothing. How many times do I have to say, oh, the dancing in the streets when Saddam Hussein was toppled and they tore...
Again, that's why I didn't believe any of it. I was just like, I watched his statue come down, but I also watched what happened after it.
Down the statue, and everybody's all happy and like, oops, tee-hee-hee. Did we break the region and lead to the rise of ISIS and Al-Qaeda?
I'll tell you, I will tell you this much, and I'm dead serious. If somebody under the age of 30 tries to give me a talking to on this subject, I laugh in their face and just go, that's adorable. And also, get to your recruitment office.
Trillions of dollars? Do we have hundreds of thousands of innocent people die and thousands of our own people die? Did we break the region and the only people that made out like bandits were fucking war profiteers?
Yeah, during Biden, Mago screaming for the end of U.S. Policing the world. What the fuck happened to that?
Industrial complex? Oops! And now they're doing the same shit. Fuck Dana Bash. She should resign in disgrace.
It's not going to happen. Why do we do this? There's nothing dumber than when I hear at a fucking protest, shame, 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 shame. What is this, the fucking medieval ages? And that shit. She should resign in disgrace. Dude, just say Dana Bash sucks and looks like a fucking horse.
But I'm still...
Like, goddamn, dude. Like, she literally looks like if Mitch McConnell fucked a horse and then had a daughter.
Not done, because we also have this. I don't know why they invite this guy. It is a stain on their history.
Bro, do you not understand that Kyle's part of the problem, man? He doesn't understand that CNN is already like owned by a right-wing guy that's trying to make it more center. Like I said yesterday, ignoring the fact that the reality tends to be a little bit more left-wing than people give any credence to. Like, you understand that like full conservatism is fundamentalism.
Fighting on the smuggest man on planet Earth, whose whole job is to huff Donald Trump's farts.
What do you guys think the actual like percentage of MAGA is that if they lived in a Christian theocracy, how many of them would like it and how many of them would automatically just turn against it?
And say it's...
Because I know that there's a lot of atheists in MAGA.
Smells like roses. Listen to this, what Scott Jennings says.
How do you square the no war promise with the potential of a protracted war?
Well, first
more bots coming in here saying male beta boy.
First of all, the president has consistently over the course of his entire public life said he will never permit the Iranian regime to have a nuclear weapon. That's why he took action last summer, and that's part of the reason he took action today. So I don't see this as him starting a war. I see this as a preventative measure to prevent a war.
Oh, the flower. Oh, see, now we're getting the anti-hippie shit. These, again, the bots are preparing the public consciousness because they understand that there's going to be a whole lot of discontent here. If you got... the way he did waste it. Shut up, Kyle. That was hilarious.
Action today. So I don't see this as him starting a war. I see this as a preventative measure to prevent a war.
Base.
So by doing a war, he's actually preventing a war. By
That was
doing a war,
funny.
he's preventing a war. By inserting, you're actually, that's virginity. By having intercourse, you're doing intercourse for virginity. See, by eating, when you put the food in your mouth and chew and
Nick Fuentes was literally the psyop to prepare these kids for like having that kind of thought process. Think about it. Liking chicks is gay.
swallow, you're actually fasting.
Having a girlfriend is somehow gay. Having a wife is somehow gay.
That's what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? This is the best they got? And the answer is yes, this is the best they got. They got nothing. By the way, this asshole was out there trying to say, I've heard word that actually Iran was threatening to nuke us. They're literally they're running back the Iraq playbook. Weapons of mass destruction. You know, we can't have the evidence coming in the form of a mushroom cloud over our cities.
Yep.
They're
It's literally the same exact talking points that the Bush administration was using.
running back that playbook.
But it is also kind of funny that they're also that uncreative.
I'm sorry, bro.
That they're just fucking using the same shit.
I am done. I don't have it in me to fucking entertain this absolute low IQ dog shit nonsense in the year 2026. We have a country that is falling apart. People are dealing with unemployment. They're dealing with inflation. They're dealing with stagnant wages. They can't afford their fucking groceries. They're losing their health care. And we're all sitting here watching another multi-trillion-dollar illegal war of aggression. Like, hundreds of millions of dollars in U.S. jets crashed just yesterday, okay? And meanwhile, kids can't afford to get the fucking pair of eyeglasses that they need. People can't afford...
Sounds like me.
...dental work. People are going bankrupt from medical...
Yo, hey, you got a hit like that.
bills. But we can do
Fucking
another
rude.
multi-trillion-dollar war in the Middle East, and as they do it, they spit in your eye, and they go, no, by doing a war, he's actually anti-war. Huh? Jesus Christ, man.
Against the largest state sponsor of terror in the world.
That's just a lie. By the way, anytime anybody says that to you, that's a lie. Point out that it's a lie. How are they the largest state sponsor of terrorism? I'd like to know. They'll have nothing. The ones that are educated will say, Hezbollah. And your response to that should be, Hezbollah, they don't attack the U.S. They haven't attacked the U.S. at all.
Yeah. No, but they're pivoting and moving the goalpost. They've attacked our service personnel 20 years ago.
They're like a
dude. They're literally going back to the 70s, where 1983 is one of the ones that they brought up. Was the attack in 1983? Was the one that Pete Hegseth was mentioning?
Militia in Lebanon that fights back against Israeli aggression against their country. When people try to like lump in Hezbollah with like Al Qaeda and ISIS, they're just being dishonest. That's just dishonest. The people who say that either don't know or are lying on purpose about what Hezbollah truly is. So press them. Hey, how is Iran the number one state sponsor of terrorism? Please, I'll wait.
Yeah. I'm actually, people in chat, you wanna answer that? That's a good question.
And then maybe they'll say like, oh, they did roadside bombs in Iraq when we did war against Iraq. Well, again, they're defending their own country, right? Like that's what that is. That's what you might not like it. You could call it whatever you want to call it, but that's them defending their country. There are no fucking Iranian Shia terror attacks hitting this country. Well, at least there weren't, right? Now with us, meddling in their affairs and trying to topple their government and probably trying to steal their resources too. Maybe that'll change, but they're not. The number one state sponsor of terrorism is Saudi Arabia.
I am going to be covering some of Tim's deposition.
Yeah. They're the ones who, the majority of the hijackers on 9/11 came from that country. They're the ones who built the...
Yeah, because apparently that whole thing with James Comer today, with him pulling in Tampon Tim, as you guys call him, didn't go well for the Republicans because they ended up bringing the whole like packet and like the prosecutor and everybody that's involved in prosecuting the fraud in Minnesota. And they kind of made a really good case that they're actually prosecuting the fraud in Minnesota and that the federal government is impinging impinging. Fuck it. They are making it harder for them to do so.
The radical madrasas that spread radical Islam, Salafism, Wahhabism. We literally...
I own my brain farts, man. I have too many of them. I mean, I'm likely to get some fucking hardcore...
Scott Jennings is saying this as
memory
Trump
problems
bragged
in
the
the
other day about putting a
near
former
future.
Al-Qaeda leader as the head of Syria.
Impinging.
He wants you to
Well, is it impinging or infringing?
fear Iran as Trump shakes hands with a former Al-Qaeda leader and welcomes him in the White House with open arms and says stuff like...
Impeding their ability. There we go. I like that one.
He's got a tough past, this one. He's got a tough past. They think you're fucking stupid and you'll swallow this shit whole. Oh, Iran's the #1 state sponsor of terrorism. How? Explain it. They can't explain it because it's not true.
You ever been in the middle of writing a word and doing like the thing from Tommy Boy where it's roads, roads. Why is it? What the fuck?
It's not even close to true.
My view is this is a new day for the people of Iran. It's a new day for the Middle East. And it's a new day for the world because the most courageous commander-in-chief of my lifetime said, I'm not putting up with this. We've been banging our head against a wall for 47 years while these guys terrorize the world. And I'm not going to permit it any longer.
I love that they're going with this stupid talking point of like, they started this in 1979. Oh, did they? Have you looked further back in that textbook to 1953? When Iran had a democratically elected leader named Mohammad Mossadegh. He was going to nationalize their oil so the people of Iran could profit from their own oil. And the CIA and MI6, U.S. and British intelligence, illegally toppled that guy and put in a puppet leader, the Shah, so that our oil companies could profit from Iran's oil. So no, we meddled in their country. We overthrew their government to steal their natural resources. And then in 1979, there was another revolution. It was an Islamic revolution to get the Western puppet out, the Shah, the dictator. And like, that's where that came from. They just pretend like, oh, they started in 1979. No, we started in 1953, you fucking liar.
When I see these Iranian people in L.A. and other...
If the U.S. didn't get involved in unnecessary wars, Americans wouldn't be dead.
places celebrating, I can only imagine their emotions and the emotions of the people in Iran who now have a chance.
This is like, it's like the Miami Cubans. The Miami Cubans are all like right-wing assholes who literally, like the other day, one of them got caught trying to do a literal terror attack against the people of Cuba, but they act like they're representative, right? Same thing with these, you know, the diaspora, the Iranian diaspora, Persian diaspora in California. Like, they want the fucking monarchy back. They want the monarchy back. They're out there celebrating while a girls' school in Iran is getting bombed, and you have like 185 precious little girls between the ages of 7 and 12 who were just murdered, and they're out there celebrating like, oh, this is going to free the people of Iran. No, it's not. It's going to make it a failed state, you fucking rubes. You've been took. You've been had.
Chance to take back their country and restore what was once a great pro-Western country. That's the end goal here. No more war, but peace and a government and a culture in Iran that can actually participate with the rest of the world instead of terrorize it.
No more war, but peace. So, like, we're achieving that peace by doing war. Like, I'm going to shoot you in the face in the name of peace, right? In the name of being anti-murder, I will now murder you. Like,
I said this yesterday. It's literally the peacemaker. Like, this is why people laughed when Peacemaker said it. Now it's just American foreign policy.
CNN should be motherfucking ashamed of itself.
War is peace.
They're a sick, disgusting joke.
Yeah.
NBC should be ashamed of itself. By the way, MS Now, they've had moments that are better, but overall, not great. Not fucking great.
Yeah,
so that's why, you know, you guys, for the love of God, please support this channel, subscribe below, support the show on Patreon, tip on with the thanks button.
Yep, I also agree with that. Here, just remember that this is Trump's
victory. Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a
And this is who is advising Trump on this, by the way.
sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear
It's tough, son, but did you hear the Dow is at over 50,000? Jesus Christ. Oh, that's where we're at. All right, Pentagon chief criticizes media coverage of U.S. troop deaths in Iran conflict. Chief Hegseth criticized the press for highlighting tragic U.S. troop deaths from Iranian drone attack, saying he tried to make the president look bad. Yeah.
Qatar saying an Iranian ballistic missile has struck Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. That is the largest military installation for the United States in the entire Middle East. And it comes as a new CNN investigation is now looking specifically at the American targets hit so far by Iranian strikes, every single one of them. Tamara Klablawi is out front.
Satellite imagery showing the extent of the damage to U.S. military facilities across Gulf Arab countries is starting to emerge, part of Iran's furious response to an Israeli-American campaign that decimated its leadership. At least 9 U.S. military positions have been hit in less than 48 hours. These are relatively close targets. They're much nearer to Iran than its usual target, Israel. That proximity may give Iran's missiles and drones a better chance of hitting their targets. This is the port of Shuaiba, where just after 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, an Iranian strike set a makeshift U.S. operations center at the civilian port ablaze. 6 American service members were killed in the attack. You can see smoke rising from the fire. The blown-out 3-wide trailer blackened on the inside. There are few signs of fortification.
Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that, Bandit.
At Bandit Mtxi $2.
In another attack, a drone disappears to be the Arash 2, crashes into U.S. positions in Camp Buring. A building severely damaged. American helicopters parked inside the base were nearly hit. In Bahrain, a Shahid attack drone flies into the base that hosts the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet, one of the largest American naval formations in the world. It looks alarmingly defenseless. The drone hits one satellite communication terminal, clearly seen here. But the scale of the damage is more obvious here, warehouses and other buildings damaged. And another satellite communication terminal destroyed in a separate attack. We see this pattern of targeting throughout the region. At least 5 satellite communication terminals were destroyed. It points to a possible Iranian effort to cut U.S. bases off from the outside world. Iran used an unprecedented barrage of missiles and drones. U.S. Patriot missiles and other multi-billion-dollar air defense systems shot most of these out of the sky. But the ones that got through were enough to puncture the veil of security around oil-rich Gulf Arab states and the heart of...
Oh, by the way, guys, we're also going to cover how they didn't plan this like at all, to the point where Americans have no way of getting out.
America's
So if you were on vacation in Doha, you're stuck there.
Security infrastructure in the Middle East. Now, the question is just how long can Iran sustain these attacks? That depends on how big their stockpiles of missiles and drones are, which is currently unknown. And really, Aaron, it comes down to how quickly can the U.S. and Israel achieve their stated objective of obliterating the missiles. Until that happens, Iran has made it clear that in the aftermath of the killing of Ayatollah Khamenei, it plans to sow as much chaos as possible to U.S. interests in the Middle East and beyond.
At the very top of the program, I mentioned the strike on Al Udeid that we are understanding has just happened, and that was from we understand, a ballistic missile from Iran. What's the significance of that, given that you've been there so much, but that this is the single largest military base in the region?
Well, the Qatari government has the obligation, in concert with the United States, agreements in place to protect the airspace. When I was there, and over the course of time, certainly there was a full integration of not only U.S. air defense capabilities and those that are possessed by the Qatarian government. In this case, over the course of time, maybe the U.S. presence there has decreased somewhat, and in Qatar, it has increased to a point that they now have primacy in terms of that mission set. That's the only thing I can assume right now, because for Iran to be able to target Al Udeid, first of all, it's a known location. They know where it is, so that's no mystery. Yep. But for it to get through, that's a legitimate concern.
And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says all personnel are accounted for after a drone strike in a parking lot near the U.S. consulate in Dubai late last night. It is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, notice how they're only showing the one side that doesn't show the actual parking lot because it makes it look like it actually hit the building. I'm calling that out, too, because they did have footage of it hitting the parking lot.
Here, Paula Hancock's joining us from Dubai. And Paula, just let's get some reaction there. People have been extremely concerned, of course, about these attacks. They do tell us they, on the whole, feel safe, though. How is what is going on in Dubai and the broader picture of Iranian attacks on U.S. military and,
gay cat lady,
importantly, non-military?
Well, at least she has a cat. Fuck, dude. Not even a cat would love you.
Facilities going down.
Well, Becky, we had heard from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that they were expanding their targets. It was going to be American political centers hit as well, and we're certainly seeing that. As you mentioned there, the car park of the consulate in Dubai, close to where we are here. Now, there were no casualties because there was no one in the building. We know that the consulate at the embassy in Abu Dhabi, they'd cancelled all appointments up until March 4th, which is today. Clearly, that is going to be extended. And we're seeing embassies being shut. So the Saudi embassy.
Wait, my mom doesn't love me. You just talked to her?
Kuwait
Oh, interesting.
embassy, because they are being targeted.
Okay.
Now, we also saw overnight in Qatar, the
Who wants to tell him?
Al Udeid air base once again being struck. This is the largest U.S. military installation in the
man.
Middle East. But again, there would have been an awful lot of movement out of that base before this war started. Now, in Kuwait, there were interceptions of aerial objects, we're being told. One of the interceptions...
Ask her what the view's like.
...created debris, which then hit a residential building and killed
Anna.
an 11-year-old girl. So these incoming missiles and drones are
my fucking regular
continuing. They are... we are seeing having a very high
Oh,
success
man, that
rate
was
of
fucking
managing to shoot down
ask her what
these
the
missiles
view's
and
like.
drones. We heard a couple of interceptions overhead a couple of hours ago. We're also hearing a lot more fighter jets in the air above the skies of
That got
Dubai
me.
today and yesterday. One interesting point to make is that France has now decided to send
Oh, some dude was saying that my mom doesn't love me. He doesn't know my mom's dead.
fighter jets into the skies above the UAE. The French minister saying that was to make sure that they could protect their military bases here. They said that a military base in Abu Dhabi had been hit. It's unclear at this point whether they will be actively involved in shooting down missiles or drones, but it just shows that the number of countries, particularly in Europe as well,
Literally, the last text message I have of my mom was saying how proud of me she was.
being drawn into this war is
And that was
increasing.
just, again,
In
that was
France
one of
was
those
very
random, like, happenstances where it was just like we were talking about me doing this.
Critical.
I'm not even trying to get too serious about it, but
of the US president for making the decision to go ahead and attack Iran.
Nick, I want to talk about what's happening in the region. What are you hearing?
Yeah, and Saudi.
you know what's really funny? I just kind of realized this, that some of the guys in here that, like, we accuse of being bots that aren't bots, you do understand that, like, their personalities are so bad that we automatically assume that they're Russian bots.
Arabia here in Riyadh specifically, the U.S. Embassy,
that's something
State
to think
Department
about.
has authorized non-emergency staff to be able to leave. The consulate in Jeddah, the consulate in the east of the country, in the oil-producing sector in Dhahran, were under strict shelter-in-place instructions through the day yesterday. The Iranians continue their strikes and attempted strikes on
Wish
Saturday.
your mom was still alive. Yeah, me
Saudi
too.
Arabia in the early hours this
What up, Genghis Khan? I haven't seen you in a minute.
morning. 9 drones were intercepted. Another drone was intercepted in the last couple of hours in the eastern province. And here in Saudi
Yeah, we have the 1-year anniversary coming up on the 7th.
Arabia,
3 days.
they are watching for how Iran may be escalating their attacks. A lot of the intercepts that have been
This guy's never not screaming.
successfully intercepted here have been drone attacks. But this morning, 2 cruise missiles indicating an escalation of the type of attack by Iran on Saudi Arabia were shot down successfully.
You apologize? Oh, do you now?
No injuries reported as far as we know.
That's why I was laughing. I'm like, I don't think this guy knows what's up.
In a town just south of Riyadh, and right next to that town is a massive Saudi
Oh, and someone just get hit with that whole, like, oh, damn it, I'm a massive piece of shit.
military airbase. But in the last few minutes...
Listen, hey, Growth.
We've heard that there has been an attempted attack again on Ras Tanura, the massive oil-producing facility here in Saudi Arabia. And of course, the concern for the Saudis is that their oil sector is potentially vulnerable. They're defending it, successfully defending it so far. But there is a risk, and they recognize this, that a strike on their oil facilities could put pressure on them to be dragged potentially into the war here, something that they are not inclined to do, and something that they are concerned about and have given Iran strong...
Are you now saying that Donald Trump... Oh, man, you might want to tell him that, because even he still thinks he ain't going to heaven.
...diplomatic signals not to do.
Dude, my favorite part is the people that like are super into like this and love themselves some God, they don't understand how much this parallels the Antichrist. Like, they don't get it.
You know, the option...
Read the bits about the Antichrist and then get back to me.
...to respond if they are attacked remains an option.
I lost my mom 4 months ago. Maybe I'm projecting a bit.
However...
go seek therapy. You need to figure out how to be a little healthier in your way you project.
This is feeling to the Saudis...
I appreciate the apology, but that's wild.
As if it is...
You know what I didn't do? The second that, with my mom's death, I didn't start doing that.
Is an escalation of Iran's attacks going on, and I think the bigger picture that underscores there is that adds to the assessment here at the moment that Iran still has command and control capability and can escalate its targets, pick and choose, as it did a little over 24 hours ago, to send 4 drones successfully hitting the embassy here in the center of Riyadh, the U.S. embassy, and
All
not
right.
just...
So now here's the struggles for everybody trying to leave.
MS Now's Julia Jester was at the Pentagon briefing this morning. Brett Bruin is a former U.S. diplomat who served as Director of Global Engagement and is president of the Global Situation Room Incorporated. With me in studio, MS Now National Security and Intelligence Analyst Chris O'Leary.
You should feel more empathetic since it's so fresh. Damn, bro. Fucking psychopaths everywhere. Yep.
He's Senior Vice President for Global Operations at the Sufan Group and was former Director of Hostage Recovery
Funny enough, proof that my mom loved me because I actually do have
for
empathy.
the U.S. government.
He taught me how to fucking try to feel bad for everybody, even because I don't understand everything and you don't understand what a person's going through.
Also took part in the evacuation of Afghanistan in 2021.
So,
it is great to have all of you here. But Chris, let me start, since you've done this kind of work before. How do they get people out fast and safely?
So what should have happened was this should have been part of the initial planning, what's called a...
It's propaganda, not propaganda. Come on, man.
Non-combatant evacuation operation, a NEO, which is synchronization between multiple government agencies with the State Department and the Department of Defense taking the lead.
Yes, everybody needs therapy. That's a problem.
And planning
Fuck
for
yeah,
the
they do.
logistics to have...
or, I don't know, better parents. Because, dude, I'm telling you, man.
Lift...
Like, boomers, for all of their, the political bullshit, one thing I'll say is, both my parents were very good parents.
Available for every...
And they gave a shit about, teaching me these types of things and making sure that I wasn't such a fuckhead.
American that needs it to get out. That clearly wasn't done.
Rest in
And even
peace,
the
Mom.
president himself, when he was
well.
with his German counterpart yesterday, said he was somewhat surprised about the regional effects, the response from Iran. And... what's been set up has been haphazard and I think symptomatic of what we see more broadly with this war. There's no two people telling you the same thing.
Nope.
And what you've done, what MS Now has done is, calling this hotline and demonstrating the fact that it's not giving people the comfort or direction that they need to get out of this crisis. And the threat is not abating. Clearly, the attack from Turkey or at Turkey is demonstrative of the fact that we're going to continue to see effects from the Iranian regime, which sees this as an existential threat.
So, Brett, I want to remind people of that message that the State Department was delivering as recently as 5 o'clock Eastern Time yesterday afternoon. Here it is.
Please do not rely on the U.S. government for assisted departure or evacuation at this time. There are currently no United...
Dude, we're about to get these fucking same notifications when we call in for, basic shit.
States evacuation.
Like the DMV.
Well, as we noted, that line is manned now, but callers are being told to sign up online for alerts, to wait for the government to get back to them. No timeline at all. To Chris's point, could this have been better planned? Could there have been warnings? Could there have been something ready to go? And let me just ask you a final question, which is about nothing against contractors. Contractors serve an important role, but it almost sounds like they were just reading from a sheet. It's not like they're people who are experienced in the region and can provide answers.
Yeah, and Chris, to that point, the last thing that you want in this kind of dangerous situation
is confusion.
Contradictory information. And unfortunately, that is what we have been getting over the last several days. We are now in the 5th day of this war, and Americans are just starting to get an inkling of how they or their relatives and friends and families could get out. And to the point earlier, yes, if Trump knew that he was going to launch this operation, one, you want to send as direct a message
Ominous Mecca, I say, yeah.
as you can to
You got my vote.
Americans.
You got the streamer.
Get out of the region.
Do I have a bigger vote since I'm the streamer, since you asked chat? Or nah, we're all equal here.
And
You know what?
avoid
Fuck that.
travel there, so you're reducing the number of people that you eventually have to evacuate in that non-combatant evacuation, the NEO that was mentioned before. But then on top of that, you have got to ensure that you're reassuring Americans so that they understand
This guy's sporting a Charlie Chaplin stash. I think he just has one of those like really deep under nose things.
plan is. And I think what we have seen from the
It's literally that's what it is. It's like he's got some hair growing there that he missed, but yeah, it's like what is this? This isn't your septum. What is this called? What is this called? What's the taint between your nose and your lip? What's your nose taint? It's no, because this is technically nose taint. What's the taint between the lip and the nose?
are the costs of all of those cuts last year to the State Department, to the lack
While trying to be funny, also I am asking
leadership, to the departure of so many State Department experts in this kind of situation. And so they're trying to recreate the arc as the floodwaters are coming over the top of the situation.
The filtrum.
I want to pick up on that because there is a question about how many people are actually on the ground
I Googled it and you got it right at the same time.
overseas to help.
The filtrum.
On Tuesday, the U.S. said it was recalling diplomatic staff from Pakistan, Cyprus, Oman, Saudi Arabia, 2 of those countries on that original list of 14. And we should note, of those 14 countries where people were told to evacuate, 7 of them,
I like the lip nose tape. We'll just keep it at that.
along with Iran, have no U.S. ambassador. How does that complicate things?
Yeah, so what you're going to have in these kind of situations, I've worked on evacuations in these war situations, is you will deploy everyone at the embassy, every U.S. official, no matter if you're an IT specialist, if you're diplomatic security, if you're a public affairs officer, you will be out there helping to coordinate Americans. And so you need as many people as possible. But Chris, again, this is an illustration of what was done wrong here. This is going to be a case study for the State Department going forward on how not to handle these kind of emergency situations, because you don't have enough of the right people. You're now trying to get both official Americans, American citizens out in the midst of very dangerous conditions. And we didn't have to subject our people to these risks. We know how to do this. We have done it time and time again. And somehow I think the Trump team just, forgot to look up, this stuff before they launched the attack.
I want to bring in Ines de la Cutera, who is live in Jerusalem for us. Ines, I understand you just had to take shelter because of an alert. I wonder, can you tell us what happened and what you're hearing from people where you are?
Hey, Chris, yeah, so sirens going off again here.
Gas is soaring. Fuck yeah,
in
dude.
Jerusalem.
It went up fucking $2 where we're at.
So we are now.
But again, I live in a city area, so
Down in the hotel shelter. I'll let
we're
you,
gonna see it first.
Take a look here. People clearly waiting it out. This is the 6th time by our count that sirens have gone off in the different places that we've been in. We were in Tel Aviv earlier today, now in Jerusalem. So
yeah, dollar. Well, no, it's gone up by $1.68. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I will say there is a sense that
it was like $2.90 something not too long ago, dude. We're almost at $4.
Amount of sirens going off has gone down when you compare, the amount of sirens going off now compared to the first couple of days of the war. But there is clearly very much still an ongoing threat. Just today, there was.
Do you think I can trick the dipshit bot who posts his Cash App in chat to send me 200 bones?
At one point, incoming
Oh,
fire from both Iran and Hezbollah at the same time.
as a celebration, if you do, I mean, I'm not saying from that, but if you want to make a donation to the stream.
Killed in Iran. That's according to Iranian officials.
Paid $2.99 this morning.
Here in Israel, we are at 13 killed so far, and those 6 American.
One thing that sucks about, don't do that.
Members also who were killed. The sentiment here in Israel,
I 1000% do not condone trying to do any fishy shit.
People we've
200
been
chips.
talking to are very much on
Are we talking like Lay's potato chips?
board with the operation in Iran. One man telling me, they've been living with this constant threat of attacks for
The Bears suck. Hey.
for years now. And so they want Israel and
Rude.
the U.S. to finish the job. They are bracing for much
Yo, you can talk about my politics all day, but my football team, dude, we're not even playing. What the fuck?
worse. There is hope that the U.S. and Israel are quickly taking out the Iranian
No one's complaining about gas? Okay.
ballistic missile capability.
That's funny because the same ones that you were claiming were praising Trump because of the gas prices. Yeah, they are.
And we heard
All of a sudden, gas became part of that whole identity of bad fucking economic policy.
defense.
It's almost like, you guys kind of fucked up by pivoting everything to the gas. And I think that if you know, half of anything in politics, you know that OPEC sets the gas prices. And that's why we see increases in gas prices. But you know what? Trump. This was Trump. And you know what? Strangely enough, this one was actually Trump.
Pentagon officials earlier today talking about how the number of ballistic
Low gas prices, not Trump. High gas prices right now are actually Trump. That's the fuck. Oh my God. I just kind of came to terms with that. I'm like, oh shit.
missiles fired was down 86%. The hope is that they're going to keep doing that, but they are also at the same time bracing for
Oh, it's only going higher too because the Strait of Hormuz is not getting
the
open.
worst. We've been visiting.
Dude, you're not going to see this until about 2 weeks from now when it spikes to almost $5. In fucking rural areas, it's going to go up to about $3 to $4.
Underground hospitals. Earlier
It's gonna
today,
suck
we were
for
at a
everybody, man.
National Dispatch Center where they kind of coordinate all the emergency response, and officials there telling us they are preparing for mass casualty events.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for
I think the person is lying. Yeah, I know.
that, Inez. So, Chris, that brings me back to, and I don't know if any of the folks who are there with her are people who are trying to get out of country. Having said that, is there a way for the U.S. government now,
I just know that my conservative stepmom in Tennessee ain't feeling this.
knowing that the planning doesn't look like it was what it should have been, knowing that the staffing on the ground,
And I'm not even talking about the gas prices. I'm talking all this entirely, where she went from supporting this war and loving her president within the first strikes that killed those soldiers, and then she saw that this is going to doom our economy. She even said, she's like, oh, yeah, because I just asked her straight up. I'm like, did he or did he not say no new wars during his campaign? So he's breaking a campaign promise. So just by the merits of the facts, Trump is breaking promises. And she was just like, yeah.
is not
I'm like, okay. And do you have faith that this is going to fix itself? She's like, no.
what might be ideal. Can they get ahead of it now?
They can catch up, and certainly General Kane.
Maybe she was just trying to get me off the phone. Who knows?
This morning, comparing and contrasting him, a career professional, he's giving people some comfort
when everybody else is calling it the Iran war, you might want to sit down and shut up, bro.
with his competency and his legitimacy.
Like, what's on the screen right there?
Compared to the...
Oh, yeah. Also, if you go to any other right-wing source, what's going to be on the Chiron?
The former Fox weekend host and Saturday Night Live content contributor who's playing Secretary of War right now. But DOD...
No, they don't understand that. Don't confuse these people with facts.
Does these things in partnership, and they will surge the resources. General Kane talked about Space A, which are flights that are...
Yeah, I thought Trump was different. Weird.
Coming in and bringing materials and putting...
So if all politicians break their promises, then why do you keep treating Trump like he's some god king that,
People on those military flights on the way out.
Is infallible, and you can never criticize the god king.
Contract air, for sure. But then the U.S. military in both the Mediterranean and in the Gulf region can start using helicopters to come in and get people out of hard-to-reach areas and bring them back onto the ship and transport them somewhere else. The U.S. military has
Did the bot programmers forget to update the 2020 programming? No.
done this successfully for years, and not all of them are as ugly as the end of Afghanistan. So the capability is there as long as we start relying on career professionals like General Kane.
Oh, thanks, Anna. I appreciate that.
And others. And frankly, these are the effects of decimating those professionals out of the U.S. government. Now you have.
I thought only Congress could declare war. Yeah, it's weird. So what do you call the Iraq and Afghanistan conflict then? Do you not call it a war? Okay, so do we just have to go to conflict?
Unqualified.
Vietnam conflict?
Unserious people running key
Korean conflict?
Components of it.
Shut up.
Including protecting the home.
Everybody's calling it a war. You're a fucking numbnut.
Homeland. Let's not forget, Kristi Noem and Kesh Patel are in charge of protecting the homeland from the threat of the Iranians here.
So, Julia, Secretary Hegseth said the U.S. isn't backing off. And as of today, at least, Iran isn't either, obviously. So what's the latest you learned?
Well, Chris, I was at the rare Pentagon briefing this morning where we were able to hear from Secretary Hegseth and Chairman Kane. And Hegseth said that the U.S. is going to take all the time it needs to accomplish this mission, noting that we're 4 days in. And according
why are we sacrificing our soldiers to a conflict in Iran when we should have been America first?
To Hegseth, within about a week, the U.S. and Israel will have complete control of Iranian airspace, which will allow the U.S. to strike deeper.
Yeah, because he had actual intel that one apparently was going to have a bunch of soldiers killed by people in Libya. This one was based on a whole bunch of bullshit that they can't even get straight.
To Iran's.
You do understand that all the leadership in MAGA has said like 4 different reasons for us doing this, and Trump himself fucking completely shit on Marco Rubio yesterday.
To really
because they were saying Israel pulled us into this, and then all of a sudden Trump's like, you know what, I would have done it anyway. Because he cannot stand the thought that he got dog walked into war by Netanyahu, which that's exactly what happened. You guys are supporting Israel's war on Iran.
Accomplishment.
This is not America first. This is Israel first. Just at least say that you're Israel first. Make Israel great again is what you want.
There of the Sky.
You're not even, you're Miha.
Campaign and
or Miga.
Noting that Iran's barrages of ballistic
Got
missiles
Miga
and
over
drones
here.
has drastically decreased in recent hours
What up,
and the
Brains?
past 24
Good to see ya.
hours alone. So Hegseth touting that the Iranian Air Force is decimated, and he said the Iranian Navy is no more. He cited a couple of examples of that, the first being that for the first time since World War II, the U.S. used a torpedo to
Chris Starbuck as TDS.
sink an Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean. And Hegseth took a lighter tone when he referenced a ship sunk overnight, named after Qasem Soleimani, the commander who President Trump assassinated in his first term, saying that Trump got the last laugh there and got to sink him twice, essentially. And that wasn't the only time Hegseth struck sort of a glib tone. I want you to take a listen to what he said, criticizing coverage of this military operation, particularly with regard to the 6 American soldiers' lives that were lost. Here's what he said.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality.
Now, the front page news he's referring to are the 6 lives lost in Kuwait as the result of an Iranian drone strike. And that's an area that the U.S. military has been really struggling with. It's really hard to intercept those drones. And another topic that came up at today's briefing that officials were pressed on were the concerns over shortage of U.S. munitions. And Hegseth and Kane both dismissed those concerns. Hegseth said that the arsenal is extremely strong, and Kane said that they have enough munitions to carry out this mission, which...
Oh, John Tripp, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that, man.
At John Tripp 11 $10.
Thank you.
Sorry to hear about your wife.
Appreciate
Hope
that.
your circumstances change soon. Thank you for trying to keep people informed.
Oh, thank you. No, I really appreciate that comment, man. Thank you for your kindness.
as of right now, does not have a set timeline, Chris.
And we hope the circumstances change too. She is only day 3 into her second round of chemo.
The Trump administration is signaling that it plans to arm Kurdish proxies to start an uprising in Iran, which is actually kind of a...
No, I appreciate that, man. And I am. Like, I hope you guys understand that. Like, I never claimed to be a journalist. I am literally just a political, not even a podcaster. I'm a political commentator that likes to aggregate information for you guys. I admit my bias. Yes, I have leftist bias, but I also obviously welcome other people's opinions. I don't just ban people for having fucking contrarian opinions, even though
an unusual thing to...
Not the greatest policy, probably not.
Telegraph publicly if you're going to try to keep it clandestine.
Not for happiness.
So we're going to talk about where that comes from and what that means in a moment with my drop site colleague, Murtaza Hussain. But first, we have a 1-month free premium offer that we're .com. It's BP free 26. All right, and maybe in post we can add a little map here because I think it's important
I'm
here.
Still here.
When Sykes-Picot drew the lines of the
chemo is horrible. Hope your family gets through it.
Of the Middle East, they took the Kurdish region, the Kurdish population.
It's hell.
And split it basically like right down the middle. They put a quarter of it over in Turkey.
4 minutes until Mario gets flower power.
Large Kurdish population in eastern Turkey. There's then a large Kurdish population in northeast Syria. Then there's a large Kurdish population over in northern Iraq, and then you have a smaller but non-trivial Kurdish population in Iran. And so it is the Iranian Kurds that are now the focus of the U.S. attention and affection and weapon supplies, hoping to further destabilize Iran. So, Amaz, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Very much appreciate it.
Actually, before we watch this is something that we should watch.
There are nearly 2 billion Muslims on Earth. From the outside, they seem identical. One God, one Quran, one prophet. But for 1,400 years, the Islamic world has been split into 2 distinct paths, Sunni and Shia. The Sunnis are the vast majority, about 90% of Muslims. They dominate countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, and Indonesia. Their name comes from Sunnah, meaning they strictly follow the Prophet's tradition and the consensus of his companions. The Shias make up about 10%. They are the majority in Iran and Iraq. Their name means partisans of Ali. They believe the Prophet's family, specifically Ali, were the only divinely appointed leaders. So, beyond politics, how do they actually live differently? Let's break down the 5 major differences that separate them today. The first and most visible difference is how they pray. If you walk into a mosque, you can often tell who is who just by watching them stand. Hand position. When a Sunni stands for prayer, he typically folds his hands across his chest or navel, right hand over left. This is the standard posture in the majority of Sunni schools. A Shia, however, will typically stand with his arms resting straight down at his sides. They believe this was the original posture of the Prophet during the early years of Islam. Prostration. This is the most famous difference. When Sunnis bow down in prostration, they place their foreheads directly onto the prayer mat or carpet. Shias, however, prostrate on a piece of clay brought from the Holy Land of Karbala, combining prayers. Sunnis pray 5 distinct times a day: Fajr, Duhur, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. They strictly perform each prayer in its specific time.
The Comic Sans is throwing you a little bit.
Slot, and only
But you know what? It is making it easier for people like me to read. Like, if you have dyslexia, Comic Sans for some reason this doesn't trigger it.
Find them in rare cases like travel or sickness. Shias
fucking Times New Roman. They knew what they were doing, and I think Times New Roman was just a fuck with one dude that had dyslexia, where it's just like, hey.
5
We got Sisyphus. He reads weird. Want to see something funny?
Obligatory prayers, but they are permitted to combine them into 3 sessions on a daily basis. They often pray Dur immediately followed by Asr, and Maghrib immediately followed by Isha. The Adhan, even the
You don't know ish about politics, you're probably 21. Oh, if you're talking about me.
Call to prayer has a unique signature. In the Shia Adhan, after
I don't think you are.
The phrase Hayy al-Falah, they add a phrase that Sunnis do not say, Hayy ala khayr al-amal, which means come to the best of deeds. The second major difference is where they get their religious rules from. If a Muslim has a question about life, who do they ask? Sunnis rely on the Quran and the Sunnah, the Prophet's recorded sayings and actions. Over time, this evolved into 4 major schools of thought, madhabs, named after the scholars who founded them over 1,000 years ago.
420 smoke break.
Hanafi, the oldest and most widely followed, common in Turkey, South Asia.
Cheers.
Maliki, dominant in North and West Africa. Shafi'i, found in East Africa and Southeast Asia. Hanbali, predominant in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf. Importantly, Sunnis consider all four schools to be correct and valid. A Sunni can follow any of them. They also believe that religious leadership is a matter of scholarship, not divine appointment. They respect the caliphs and companions, but they do not believe they were infallible. To Sunnis, only prophets are protected from error. Shias operate.
By the way, Christianity is not any better. You know, the Protestant Reformation, like the way that Catholics and Protestants have been able to get on, all the wars that have been started just because of their stupid religion too.
Differently.
And I'm gonna call all religion stupid.
They believe that the true interpretation
that I firmly believe
of the Quran can.
If your magic book results in people dying, yeah, it's stupid.
Only come through the 12 imams from the Prophet's family. They believe these imams were infallible, meaning divinely protected from sin and error, just like the Prophet. But since the 12th imam is currently believed to be hidden, Shias today follow a living scholar known as a reference. Every Shia must choose a high-ranking living scholar, like Ayatollah Sistani in Iraq or Ayatollah Khamenei in Iran, and strictly follow his rulings in a practice called imitation. Unlike Sunnis who follow schools from the past, Shias generally need the guidance of a living authority for modern issues. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. The third difference lies in the definition of marriage itself. While both groups view marriage as a sacred bond, they disagree fundamentally.
But hey, if you haven't hit the like button,
mentally on one specific type of contract. In Sunni Islam, marriage is strictly a permanent contract. It is intended to last a lifetime until death or divorce separates the couple. For a Sunni marriage to be valid, it has strict requirements. There must be the consent of the bride's guardian, 2 male witnesses, and a public announcement. Sunnis strictly reject any form of temporary marriage. They consider it forbidden and view it as invalid, equating it to adultery. Shia Islam recognizes the standard permanent marriage just like Sunnis. However, they also permit a second type of
let's leave chosen religions out of our government simple.
Marriage.
Yeah, it's almost like we had something like our Constitution in the First Amendment
called temporary marriage. It is a contract
ominous as Chris Jericho
between a man and a woman for a fixed period of time.
No, that's Les Champions.
This duration is agreed upon in advance.
And because you missed that, you're on the list.
It could be as short. The couple agrees on a dowry and a time limit. Once the time runs out, the marriage ends automatically without the need for a divorce. Why the disagreement? Shias believe this practice was allowed during the time of the Prophet and is mentioned in the Quran, and that it was later banned by the second caliph, Umar, rather than by God or the Prophet. Therefore, they consider it still valid. Sunnis believe the Prophet himself banned this practice permanently before he died, making it forever prohibited. The fourth difference is emotional and historical, centered around one specific day in the Islamic calendar, the 10th of Muharram, known as Ashura. For Sunnis, Ashura is a day of respect and gratitude. They fast on this day because the Prophet
I've never been on the list, and now I love you for knowing that.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted on it. Historically, Sunnis view Ashura as the day God saved Moses and the children.
Why are we listening to this? Because we are getting educated.
Children of
This is education.
Israel from the Pharaoh by parting the Red Sea.
If you don't know a lot about Islam, this will get you educated a little bit more on the basics of Islam.
While
I'm literally, I chose this video because it's not over analytical. It's not trying to be I'm not trying to take you to class. Like, this is literally like hey, here's the basics. If you want to learn more, well, I'm directed to some more videos.
Sunnis also
But this, again, it's good to understand who we're bombing.
mourn the tragedy of Hussein, the Prophet's grandson, that happened on this day. They do not have specific annual rituals of mourning. For them, it remains primarily a day of fasting. For Shias, Ashura is the most defining day of their religious identity. It is a day of intense grief, sorrow, and mourning. It marks the anniversary of the Battle of Karbala, where Imam Hussein and 72 of his family members and companions were surrounded and massacred by the army of the Umayyad Caliph, Yazid. For Shias,
you know how cool that would be if that was the actual
this wasn't just a battle. It was the ultimate sacrifice of the Prophet's bloodline to save the true Islam from corruption.
It's a holy war? Yeah. Yeah, it's Christian versus Islam. Because now we have a bunch of fundamentalist Christians that are 100% saying that this is what this is about. Like it's not just like left reporting on this, by the way. You have people coming, like whistleblowers from the military coming out and saying they are breaking the religious doctrines of the military by trying to get to get our soldiers to go to church, to have, I guess they're passing out like this literature about how, we're kind of leading a holy war here.
On this day, Shias wear black and organize large processions.
That's not great.
They listen to the heartbreaking story of the battle.
I don't know. I'd prefer not to have a bunch of people in power that are literally trying to bring about the end of the world because some magic fucking dude on a winged horse might come back.
Weep and often beat their chests as an expression of grief.
This is why I do think that Trump is, I'm going to say something pretty controversial here. I think that Trump is literally God, what's a word? What's a term I can use and not get in trouble here?
Grief and solidarity with Hussein's suffering.
Just
they
make
do
sure
not
that
fast
I can
on
say
this day, as it is considered a day of tragedy, not celebration. The final major difference relates directly to the fifth pillar of Islam. First, regarding the obligatory Hajj,
there we go.
Both Sunnis and Shias are
terminal. I think he's terminal. I think that he got diagnosed with something terminal. And this is the reason that he is pushing for this, because he thinks that his only salvation is ushering in the return of Jesus, not recognizing that by doing so, he just by default becomes the Antichrist.
completely united. They both believe it is a mandate.
Again, this is the bitch about me coming from this exact cult that believed this shit. Is I'm just like, yeah, they're kind of missing a major step there, and they're trying to say that Obama was the Antichrist, except
mandatory duty, and every year they stand shoulder
mark on the forehead
to shoulder in Mecca, circling the same Kaaba and praying to the same God.
I mean, people also that tried to say, well, yeah, Biden was the Antichrist because he made you get the jab. It's like, technically, again, that came from Trump.
However, the difference arises.
Operation Warp Speed was Trump. Sorry.
Is with a second type of pilgrimage that Shias practice, known as visitation. Unlike Sunnis, Shias place immense spiritual value on visiting the shrines of the Imam.
Yeah, I just didn't expect the Four Horsemen to not be able to pass fucking high school.
Specifically the shrine of Hussein in Karbala and Ali in Najaf. For Shias, making this journey is considered
Pete Kegsbreath was not on that list.
A highly rewarding act of worship to seek intercession. The Sunni view Sunnis, particularly those following strict schools like
honestly, I thought the Antichrist wasn't going to just be this stupid.
The Humbly tradition, strongly disagree with this practice. While they respect the Prophet's family, they believe that building grand shrines over graves and praying at them can lead to shirk, polytheism. They believe one should pray only to God directly without any intermediaries. Therefore, you will rarely see elaborate shrines in Sunni-dominated regions compared to the golden domes found in Shia cities. So, to summarize the 1,400-year split, politics.
Okay.
Sunnis believe in leadership by community consensus. Caliphate.
Galatians 6:7.
Shias believe in leadership by divine appointment. Imamate. Prayer. Sunnis fold their hands and pray on carpets. Shias keep arms at their sides and pray on clay tablets. Authority. Sunnis follow four.
Saying that I have a woman's hair is actually not an insult.
Or ancient schools of law. Shias follow living.
As opposed to, most dudes start losing their hair, right at 35, like in between that 40. Like, I'm doing pretty well for about to hit 40.
Scholars. Marjas. Marriage. Sunnis forbid temporary marriage. Shias allow it. Sunnis focus on the Prophet's companions. Shias focus on the Prophet's family and the tragedy of Karbala. Yet,
I'm getting used to it.
Despite these deep theological and historical differences, the similarities remain the foundation.
Notice how I'm not really outraged.
They both testify that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is.
You wish my hair was more greasy?
His messenger.
Why?
They both read the same Quran. They both fast the same Ramadan. And they both face the same direction in prayer. The Sunni-Shia divide is not about different religions, but rather two different interpretations of the same faith.
They get one.
One emphasizing the consensus of the community, and the other emphasizing the lineage of the Prophet. Assalamu alaikum.
Like I said, I don't know. Maybe my brain was broken when I started this streaming thing, where I was just like, oh, yeah. I genuinely was a little afraid, where I'm like, oh, all the negativity is going to get to me. Then I realized that, yeah, no, it doesn't. None of it does. Like I said, when you're so steeped in all this negative bullshit, it's the nice comments that kind of get me. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what I get for having a dad that called me numbnuts my entire life, and just like again, it was humor, you know.
And
I made that joke. I'm like, yeah, my dad beat me with bad jokes.
We can put up what do we have? B2 here. This is from CNN. This is the U.S. This is the U.S. intelligence officials signaling that they plan to spark an uprising in Iran, which obviously,
yes, Red Foreman was my father.
He has some level.
He really was.
Level of.
When I saw that 70s show, I got uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't like this show. It's making me realize some stuff.
PSYOP, psychological operation to it, because the CIA is also capable of sparking uprisings without telling CNN.
That I have a huge, that I may have had a thing for Donna Pinciotti.
That they're about
Pinciotti
to spark an uprising. And if we had the map still up there, we could point out that down in the southern part of Iran there's a large Baloch population. There's a Baloch.
Hey, my name was worthless. Sounds like our dads had a similar parenting style. Yep.
Population in neighboring Pakistan, which has all sorts of kind of intelligence.
When my dad, this is a true story. My dad, when he got his cancer diagnosis, he told me and my sister at like a kind of a random time. It was just like while we were in the middle of the day, and he was just like, yeah, and I love you guys. And both me and my sister, this tells you how toxic the situation was, where we were like, are you sick? And he's like, well, I do have bad news. And we were just like, oh my God, he is.
Connections and also their own.
Hey, Pep Talks, I got some really good news. Hey, share with the class. What's up?
Kind of drive for independence or autonomy. So there's a lot of concern that the southern area as well could become a place for some sort of uprising. So
lay it on, dude. We don't get some good news. So yeah, type faster.
So far about the kind of Trump outreach to the Iraqi Kurds and whether or not the Kurds see this as in their interest.
Yeah, so Ryan, as you pointed out, the Kurds have been a stateless.
All right, so he has a bad microphone. What we're going to do is I'm at least going to close caption this because, yeah.
Population or a state, population without their own state, for their ethnicity at least, since Sykes-Picot. They're spread out among few different countries, countries of which they're citizens, but they don't have a Kurdistan of their own per se. And so, there's always been this.
One of our county commission candidates had their Republican opponent drop out. Now there is no one who can petition to be on the ballot, so she will win by default. Awesome. Fucking digital high five, because that's fucking dope.
Attention.
That's how my buddy got his position.
With these states and so forth about how Kurds will fit in. And now I think this report, there's been militancy and there's been political
Y'all
movements
inspiring me to like do a county commission
in Iranian Kurdistan
position
for a long time. But I think that this report is very fascinating because, as you said, it's very strange to telegraph so loudly that you're about to do this imminently. I think some of the reports said that an offensive could start in a few days. That's a very strange thing to identify in that way. But that said, there have been reports that the U.S. has made intelligence contacts with the PJAK, which is like the Iranian branch of the PKK, effectively in Iran. Also reports of weapons transfers and so forth.
Yeah.
So I don't find.
See, this is what we're not getting from our news. Like you guys always have to understand that if you're getting one side only, and it's literally like the bots in chat are saying, where it's like Iranians they're all celebrating this. That's a blatant fucking lie. Because they're ignoring the fact that there's a large faction within the country that didn't supported the Ayatollah. Like you guys, that disingenuous shit's not going to fly. That's why it's more beneficial to hear the truth. Where again, it's uncomfortable. That oh no, you're telling me that they don't love Trump as much as we thought. Like, oh, you're telling me that they don't like getting bombed, and the more people we kill, the more that they're going to start shifting their opinion, going, oh shit, maybe we fucked up.
Completely beyond.
I thought about this earlier, where I was just like, if I was in their position and this happened to Trump, I'm not sure how I would feel. Like, because like at first I would be like, yeah, ding dong, but then I would be like, oh, this is bad, because if it triggered some, I don't know, potentially world-ending shit.
On the pale, or I don't find it completely outlandish that they could be doing.
And then all of a sudden, our country is getting decimated. I think it could, might change my mind a little bit.
But I think it's very
Hey, what's up, Rango?
clear that if they were to do this, it would not be to really help the Kurds per se. It would be kind of an inversion of the Iraq War situation, where the U.S. basically accidentally started a civil war by creating a security dilemma. In this case, it seems like they're deliberately trying to start a civil war and maybe try to drain the attention and resources already stretched of the Iranian military. They may impose a no-fly zone over this part of Iran to try to break the territorial integrity of Iran in that sense. And I think those are all things that are very plausible. The one thing is, if you talk to Iranians, they're very divided and polarized about many different things in a profound way.
Even if they removed a dictator, they still hurt a lot of innocent people, which gives plenty of reason for them to hate
One
us.
thing that really unites them is the territorial integrity of Iran. They're very patriotic.
Oh, Squishmallow Dragon, what up? Haven't
Across
seen you a bit.
political division. So I think that one byproduct of this, it may actually make people rally around the country and the flag or even the government, because it's the nightmare scenario of pretty much every Iranian, and even the most Shah Pahlavi supporting Iranians is militant about the subject. They don't accept it. So, it's not to say it won't happen and they're not going to try it, but, I'll say one more thing. It would also require much more U.S. involvement. It's not just like passing it off to the Kurds and walking away. You probably need tremendous U.S. Special Forces presence.
Yeah, and the other problem is the Kurds are looking into like how we treated them during the Iraq War and how we kind of abandoned them and also turned on them in certain situations. So there's not a big trust of the government
in Iran. Ongoing, as I said, air cover for these troops, these Kurdish forces to protect them and so forth. And I do think we're heading down the road, if we're doing this, of much greater U.S. involvement, including ground involvement in Iran.
Yeah, on that point, actually, Ryan highlighted this clip of a Kurdish imam that we can put it up on the screen that said to Pahlavi, quote, "Let me make this clear. When your dictator father executed Qazi Muhammad, there was only one Qazi Muhammad, but now millions of Qazi exist in Kurdistan. We promise we will not allow you to enter any part of Kurdistan in Iran." Maz, what do
I have
you
a little bit of cotton candy rips.
make of that? What does that tell us? What more does that tell us about the dynamics you were just laying out?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that Iran is ethnically heterogeneous.
Just a theoretical here, guys. Total theoretical. Did you know that if you mixed a little bit of the THC into cotton candy, that it is a fast acting way to have a eddy, is because it melts in your mouth and then it's instant.
I think maybe
I learned that the fun way.
Like half or 60% of people are Persian background, but there's a huge population of people who are Turkish.
I was at a festival and I was walking back and I was just like, whoa.
Kurds, Baloch, and so forth, even smaller ethnicities throughout the country as well. And Reza Pahlavi really speaks to the Persian segment of the population, the more urban, plurality or slim majority of the country. But there's a very big country. It's a country of 90 million people. And these people, many of them did not have a very happy experience with the previous Shah. And they view the imposition of another Pahlavi as a return to like a straightforward Persian ethnic chauvinism in their view, so that they would not view that as a liberation at all for the vast majority of them. The current government is very polarizing and probably has a support of a segment of the population and not the majority. But in theory, it's sort of intended to represent the entire country. It's not an ethnic party per se. It's a national party, national government. So I think that I don't think that even really people are thinking about these dynamics when thinking about setting the Shah back. It's a very romantic idea, just mail the king back to the country. Monarchic restorations have a history.
If my stream lags, just so you guys know, I had a little internet hiccup.
In Europe in the past as well, too. But it's a very, very complex situation. And as many U.S. officials many foreign officials have said, who've spoken with U.S. counterparts, it doesn't seem like it's a plan per se. And I do get the impression that Reza Pahlavi is more of the Israelis guy than the Americans, because he's much more closely embraced by Netanyahu than he has been by the U.S., which has kept him, at least in public, at arm's length.
Yeah, and Trump yesterday was asked about Reza Pahlavi. And
is Trump doing the Putin quick victory thing? Yes, and it's going to end up the exact same way.
And pretty much dismissed him.
Actually, you know what? The whole bridge thing that happened, which can we just admit that was hilarious? They took out one bridge, and what was going to be the path to a quick victory all of a sudden turned into, a forever war.
In a
because of one bridge.
Similar way to the way that Maria Machado seemed to be kind of dismissed by Trump. It's like, yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but I don't know if I don't know if he's the one. There's some other people, that he thinks could run Iran. And to your point, the Shah restoration plan runs kind of in direct conflict and contradiction to this, like, we're going to spark armed uprisings all over the place, because the Shah, the Crown Prince, whatever he calls himself, has been very clear that it's one Iran, and he will be the king